Oh, there we go.
Going live.
We are live.
We are live. All right, Mikey. Welcome.
Right. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's a little different in PS4, though. I'd say the PS4 like flow a lot better. I'll just like talk shit and just like we'll just rant.
Yeah, but this will have some structure.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. So far, has no structure because this took forever.
And everyone at FCM is a bunch of pussies for not mailing in any questions.
Well, I mean, this is the jump, so can't really expect much. Plus, it's Friday night.
We whacked G Money, and this is the new podcast mafia.
No, I'm not saying that. I respect what they do, but I'm just trying to do shit on my own, you know. And plus, I can't get on the talk shoe.
Yeah, talk shoe is a big piece of shit.
Why are you hating so much, bro?
I'm tired.
Like you come in here, you want to do a little rant, and now you're just talking shit. All right. So we have Sim 1 in the books. What are your thoughts so far?
I'm thinking that
2066.
Detroit's still a beast.
Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, I'm gonna try to screen share this, so give it a shot. But yeah, go on.
You're gonna get fancy.
Go on. So you're saying Detroit's a beast, but that's
where do you want to start? The East or the Central, the West?
No, start in your hood. You know, AL Central.
Start in my hood. All right.
So you got Detroit's a beast. You know that. They got the top 3 pitch. Well, they got top 4 now because they picked up that guy Nick from.
Yeah, that was a good deal.
Awesome.
He's pretty much their division favorite. Like when you have Cantrell and Cook on your pitching staff, good things are going to happen. And
I bet GB, if he ever listens to us, he'd be pretty happy that we're talking about him. Out of the gate.
He's probably smiling ear to ear right now with like a big beer in his hand. I mean, his lineup is pretty meh, though, except for that top of the order.
Well, it's funny. I'm looking at them right now, and you know they're batting 265 as a club, so it's. I mean, I think they're doing exactly what he wants, what GB wants out of him right now.
Oh yeah, like I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that strategy. Hell, like I even employ that strategy. It's just.
I mean, you got your 9th hole second baseman who has a career 269 average. He's hitting 325. I mean, it's not going to keep up. We all know that, but. You know, speaking for GB, he'd rather be 10-2 than 6-7 like Chicago is, or 5-8 of Minnesota. But Minnesota's not really.
I kept it close with him too, and I actually beat him in one of those games.
But we're talking Detroit right now, not how you beat Detroit. You know, I mean, you're in the position too. Don't worry. Like, I'm gonna give you some love. You batting 301 as a club. I'll give you that. You got Acosta actually playing. Because he was your big pickup for that first baseman.
Yeah, Seth Bodner, yeah.
Bodner's a beast.
Yeah, I'd pretty much say that I have a good shot at a wild card spot, but I don't think I'm going to be doing much more damage than that.
Okay. Any other early jump surprises that come at you? Well, for me, like not to be a homer because you were kind of were too. But Cincinnati just, picking up right where they left off there, 11-2.
Oh yeah, Andy's winning that division.
No, I mean I'm not down that one bit. picked up the best pitcher in the game, and then he's got Cliff Miller right behind him. Like, and
Andy will probably win the World Series too. I would say.
I would agree that he's probably the early favorite. He's definitely
the pickup of Phil Egan or Egan, however you want to pronounce his name, and throwing him in the bullpen. It's about time somebody throws him in the pen. I've been saying to do that for years now. And, Seattle didn't listen and Philly didn't listen, but Andy's got it going on right there.
Oh, I mean, it's a small sample size, 3 games, 5 innings, but I guess so far so good. He's got 2 saves. I have a short relief role. I mean, personally, I've always been wary of throwing in starting pitchers in the bullpen because you just never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, it can be iffy. I mean, I did that last year.
sometimes I'll tinker and in the minor leagues because you could change their what's it called their workload or whatever. Like you could set them
usage.
Yeah, usage, and I would set them to a closer or whatever, 3 innings, 2 innings, and I just see him get blown up. Like I'll see some like crazy numbers of pitchers getting blown up just because they changed their workload. So to throw a guy like Egan right into the relief role, I mean, Andy clearly knew something about that, or he just put his faith in a guy like Egan. Because I mean, I'm not sure. Is it? Do you look at the ground ball rate? Do you look at the endurance? Like, what makes?
I would say you look at the ground ball rate's low, fastball's high. He's always just been a really shitty starter. So why not throw him in and see what he can do?
Yeah, but like if he's really a shitty starter, why the hell would you throw him in a relief role to be even shittier potentially?
Because as a reliever, those vitals are great.
Where would you trust? Like, where's your foundation of trust?
Like, I get what you're saying.
I'm not saying Egan's been a shitty pitcher. Like he's been he's about a 4.6 career ERA, which is, I guess, a little bit.
Come on, that's terrible.
But I mean, I'm not saying like he's not giving up freaking a 6 earned run average. Like I guess
he's not Randy Leslie levels here, but that's for another
that's for another conversation. I mean, I haven't been in the league for the whole career of Leslie, but I just look at the just getting kind of go off tangent right now. Just looking at the player card of Leslie and comparing him to relievers in the league or just like relievers in real life, because it's all baseball, it's all numbers. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but that's just me.
Oh, he's a Hall of Famer in our league, even though I did not vote for him to be a Hall of Famer.
Well, yeah, I just don't think he's a Hall of Famer right now. He has without even looking, I think he has like a 3.6 ERA.
He has a 3.66 ERA because I don't know what. This is going off on a real tangent now, but fuck it.
Oh no, fuck it. Fuck it.
Leslie was like a really damn good pitcher, but those last 3 years, I don't know what the hell GD was smoking. Like, obviously, he was trying to stretch him out to get the save rate, to get the save record.
You can't change that. It's part of the body of work. That's part of it.
Oh yeah, it definitely. I mean, I didn't vote for him to be a Hall of Famer simply because I don't want to see this bullshit in our league where we see teams stretching out the careers by like 3-4 years too many just to try and chase a record down. If you are like a rebuilding team, all right, I guess, like, do your own thing there. But this guy, GD, was contending, and he was still doing this crap. Like, he put up a 10.72 ERA. I don't even know how that's freaking possible.
So, because I can't really make many comparisons with other relievers, because I know like Maddie and Andy like have unlimited knowledge about players that happened like 20, 30 years ago within the league. I can only go back 6 seasons.
Right.
I mean, I tried to study a little bit more, but like I can't really compare 2 players.
Well, like Brett Cloyd, you know him.
Yes.
Okay, like Corey.
And he had tremendous numbers. He had like below 3. It was like a 2.6, I think it was, which is a whole
2.92.
Okay.
And Corey even extended his career a little bit too long. But even in doing that, he was still putting up respectable numbers here. His last season, you could say, all right, like, yeah, that's enough. And that's when he let him go. And he got 790 saves instead of trying to stretch him out one more year to get 800. I mean, even 790 saves will never be touched by anyone in FCM, probably.
Well, the saves just kind of bogus anyway. But it's just like the win. It's kind of bogus.
I agree somewhat to that.
But I mean, it's a nice stat to look at. But it's, to me, it's the ERA. It's the let me see if I can pull up Cloyd or. since we were kind of 100% in on this rant.
Oh yeah, this is definitely one of the rants that was on my list to talk about.
Let's see, big active retired Andy Leslie. I picked him up 366. Like I can give a shit less about his 80 wins and 119 losses. The fact he has a 402 winning percentage. Like I don't care about the 739. I care about the ERA. I do care about strikeouts. And I care about how many innings. Like just longevity. And once I see 366, I'm like, that's a great career, but it's not dominant. It's just he had some dominant years. But
he was dominant until then. Well, I mean, he had that 4.25 ERA, but then again, I look at, okay, he still saved 30 games by doing that.
So if we're going to call Cloyd the GOAT, right? We're calling him the GOAT.
Yeah, greatest of all time for closers.
All right, so in FCM standards, he's a GOAT.
Well, even in real life standards, he would be. He blows the real life record for saves way out of the water.
Okay, again, the save stat's kind of bogus. So,
why do you think it's bogus?
Because it depends on how your team's doing. Like
right, but you still need a good pitcher at the end of the game to win you the game. Otherwise, you could still lose that game. Yeah, I do agree somewhat. Like, okay, like the ninth inning, if you're up by 3 runs, like you're probably going to win almost no matter who you throw out there. I can sort of agree with that.
But it's about what you do, like when you're on the mound, not like as much the situation. It's like, are you getting guys out, or are you not getting guys out? Are you walking guys? Are you giving home runs? Like,
I mean, I definitely can see that.
Obviously, the score matters for the team, but when it comes down to your own individual ability, it's do you make your outs or do you not make your outs? Like the save stat has nothing to do with your ability. It depends on how your team is doing at the time when you're pitching.
Yeah.
And by the way, like you said, best in real life, Mario Rivera has a 2.21 career ERA. Just saying. That's. I mean, and I look at him as the best of all time. I'm just saying in real life baseball standards.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I just don't think Leslie is the greatest.
I still think he deserves a Hall of Fame nod, even though I didn't vote for him, and I actually wish people wouldn't vote for him, at least for first ballot, simply because I don't want to see that crap of extending players way too long.
So yeah, I mean, are you crowning him for longevity, or are you crowning him for his?
He's just really damn good. Like he's the second best closer in our file, probably.
Okay, maybe I don't.
So I mean, you have to put him in because eventually because he's the second best closer in the file that's ever seen.
Okay, I'll take your word, Mike. I mean, I'm looking at the 3.6. I'm just like, I'm not saying he's bad, but is he the greatest? No.
Oh no, he's not the best. No, definitely not.
All right. Well, we just went off the rails. Now we're talking.
Let's hold this back in.
Now that we've talked about past players, so how about this? Let's go down the divisions, NL, AL. I mean, obviously we touched on NL Central and AL Central, but we'll get back to it. But let's start with the NL East.
NL East. All right.
What are your surprises?
That's like I would say the NL East is pretty much anyone's division except Philadelphia's. Florida is probably going to be a beast. Like even losing Kidner and dealing Hellier to you, for which I think was not the best value he could have gotten, but
that's fine.
He's not going to miss a beat with that. He's still got Regino.
Yeah, he picked up a starter. He didn't pick up a starter. He put it in the starter Yarnell. Has the vitals to do exactly what other pitchers have done. So yes,
like Jonah McNeely is really good. I mean, his control could be better, but he's still not even peaked, so that could go up a little bit. DeLone or Delon, I don't know how you want to pronounce his name. He's really good. Deegan is awesome. Actually, I was trying to pick him up, but he didn't want to deal him to me. And Yarnell could probably be my number 2 starter, and he's pitching fit. And that bullpen, like, there's no holes on this team.
Yeah, I feel about those guys. No Jackson, miss you, man.
The only thing that's going to hinder him is if he happens to get some injuries, because he doesn't really have too much depth and he doesn't have a lot of assets to make moves with.
Well, now he has a couple first-round picks, which I know he's not going to move.
Right. I mean, like,
he does have assets.
He can make a move, but like he can't afford, like, say, a really big injury to pitching and a really big injury to batting and expect to be able to fill both those by making.
Yeah, I hear it, because he doesn't have that swing guy from
Like
the minor leagues.
Yeah, and he doesn't have anyone to really replace a guy with an injury.
But honestly, I mean, he could throw in a DeAndre Jackson in the starter spot just for a couple starts and be okay. And maybe he could just pick up a cheap bullpen option just for just a couple cents. I think
DeAndre Jackson, where do you see him? Oh, right here. Okay.
I think he'll be just fine.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I guess.
Just as a spot starter. Just in case, like, someone goes down for a game, someone goes down for a sim, you know. I think he'll be just fine just slotting 5, or, hell, he can go a 4-man rotation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about Hokie Sr.
I mean, I think the beat goes on with him, so. But it's just his offense is always a big question mark. I mean, obviously he's got one of the best catches in the game, but it's just beyond that, it's who knows what he can get out of certain guys. Like, the jury's still out on MacArthur, who started out slow. He could be one of those overrated players. He's hurt right now. Like, he looks attractive, you know, but he's
that 98 eye is definitely good, especially when you
but the numbers, you know, in 107 games, the numbers aren't lying right now. 107 games, he's got a couple homers and he's got a pretty shit OPS. You know, so
yeah, the on base percentage is 347. That carries him.
Whoop-de-doo, like, his slugging is a 339. How the hell is your on base is going to be higher than your damn slugging?
I don't know, but it depends on what you want him to do for your lineup, though.
If you're batting third, I hope you get a higher than a damn 800 OPS. Then holy shit.
He doesn't need to, though. But yeah.
If you're batting third for a lineup, you need to have a better OPS.
Generally speaking, I put my best hitter at third.
Yeah, and you think Dan MacArthur is his best hitter?
Well, let me take a quick look here again.
You don't even need to look. I just told you his numbers.
And DeMichael Thomas is probably better, but
I think you chose right there, Mike. I don't even need to look at Thomas's.
But it depends on what you want done at your third spot. Maybe Hokie just wants a guy who is going to be able to smack the ball around a bit, like get 20 homers.
All right, well,
and get on base, and then that's when DeMichael Thomas comes in. And
let's move on to another team. So you said, and I could be mistaken if I heard you wrong, but you said every team's got a shot except for Philadelphia, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yes. So Philadelphia is obviously a rebuild.
Let me talk. So you're saying Atlanta has got a legit shot at this?
At a playoff spot. I don't think he's going to win the division, but he could win the division. He could. I guess he could win the division.
I mean, he picked up basketball. He picked up him, and you know.
Yeah, I wrote a little something about that trade here. Like, I wrote a page and a half of talk about trades here. Yeah, Glenn Ashbaugh. That was actually a decent move for. I
like him. I like him a lot. I think he's a hell of a pitcher. I've said that before. Like
he keeps the ball in the park.
Guy's been wildly consistent. He does not have a home run problem.
I would say that's definitely worth the picks for who did he trade with again?
With Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. I would say it's worth the picks and the trade up for Pittsburgh.
I think so too. I mean, I'm a big fan of basketball. I think he's one of the legit starters that Atlanta picked up. And you know, it's funny because when I say legit, I thought that his second pitcher, I thought he was going to be one of those overrated pitchers. But actually, you know, he could actually perform. He could actually become a good starter. I mean, he is pitching okay. He's got a
See, I don't care for that build too much.
Well, I mean,
but as long as you're not giving up the home runs, then it's okay.
So you say you don't care for the build, but Aspal is the same exact build.
Yeah, but he's also not giving up the home runs.
But you could say that Zimis keeps in the park. I mean, 21 homers and over 200 innings last 2 seasons. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. I mean, he's got to kind of limit the walks. I think it's the walks that hurt Zimis a little bit, but I think he's pretty solid. When I saw that trade for Cantrell, I'm thinking, damn, you're not getting the starter that Cantrell could be, because they were both unpeaked. Well, they're both still unpeaked. At least I think so. I think he might be peaked. But anyway, I thought Cantrell was way, way, way beyond better than Zimis, which he is, of course, because he's the best pitcher in the league. But I thought Zimis would be awful, and he's actually pretty good. So I mean, I think with his development, we'll go with the Braves. Whether they compete, this year or not. I think it's. I mean, I can't really trust the other starters like Hooch Mala as third starter. I don't know.
Fair enough, but I mean,
Gallardo, I don't know.
That lineup, the top of the lineup,
I don't know.
Damn good. Clifford Hawley.
Yeah, him and Vizcaya has gone off to a shaky start in 50 games, but his vitals are. I mean, he's got 9 upside, so we haven't seen his peak, obviously. So, the best is yet to come for Viz.
And that's been a shaky start for Doug Kidner, but I think he's going to turn that around. I think that was a sneaky good free agent signing. Like, people were kind of ragging on Kidner, saying he's like subpar, because I said all right, what's the bidding going to get to on Kidner? People are like, he's overrated, yada yada. I don't see that much. I mean, he's puts up pretty damn good numbers. Not maybe what you would expect, but
he puts up respectable numbers, respectable to lately pedestrian. He's had an under 700 OPS for the last couple seasons. He plays a great defense, and that's where his value comes from. And
he can pretty much play the whole infield.
Sure, but offensively, he's not the guy to count on. So him as a third batter is probably going to need a change at some point.
I'm curious if he actually is the third batter or not, because the way that this game glitches infuriates me so much, because a lot of the time it'll have the check mark box, use same lineup versus lefty and righty pitchers, clicked every single time for every team except for your own. And when you unclick it, I don't know, and I don't know if we're seeing the true lineup or not. I think we are, but I've seen just weird things happen with it.
Well,
I'm pretty sure we are, though.
Beyond any technical difficulties, I don't think that Kidner is the answer as a number 3 batter. He's a good player. I just don't think he's the answer. But he's got an interesting team. I mean, his offense is really struggling so far. So, but he's got he's +4, and he scored 60, gave up 56. I mean, he's got some young guys who can develop, and the team kind of rides off them. But he's got a good team. I'm not sure if he's going to win the division, but if he can get 81 wins,
I think he's got a wild card spot.
Ooh, is that your bold prediction?
It's not bold. I think it's just.
I mean, he's got a tough division. He's got New York and Washington and Florida. I mean, we just talked about Florida.
That's true.
Washington has been, I mean,
Here's why maybe Stang won't get the.
Washington's been the
wild card
of the 2000s.
True, but here's why maybe Atlanta won't get the wild card spot because he won't pull a cheap deal.
Because what?
He won't pull a cheap deal.
He won't pull a cheap deal. Explain.
As in, he won't rip somebody off.
He won't?
Yes.
So you're saying that he won't?
Maybe there's someone else in that division that might rip somebody off.
So who would that be? You seem to have this hot take that you're not really saying it.
I think you know who I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about, actually. I mean, are you talking about Peter? Are you talking about Washington?
Yes.
You're laughing. Like, I don't, but like, who does he rip off? I'm defending the cat right now. Who is he ripping off?
Well,
he didn't rip off anyone.
he didn't rip off anyone for Verdugo, but
no, hell no.
He's. Do you not know the whole thing? Like he's known for that?
Not really, but
oh, okay. He hasn't been ripping off people so much lately. I should stop giving him heck over it.
But I mean,
Washington has a good team.
I think Washington has the best team. It's just sad that they just can't get over the hump. Like,
you think he's better than Florida?
Yes.
Okay, like I would say the rotation and bullpens are probably a wash, with maybe Florida's bullpen being a little bit better.
I think Florida's bullpen's best, but Washington's bullpen's no slouch.
Oh no, hell no. That is a crazy good closer he's got going on there. I mean, obviously he's off to a shaky start, but
it's first sem. Like everything's like kind of.
What might hurt Peter here
is it major righties?
No, that's probably a good thing actually for pitchers. But his closer has a 61.6% ground ball rate, which could lead to some situations where he's, like the guy grounds it into the field, but oh shit, somebody made an error, and look at that. Now we got someone on base.
Then he's depending on his defense.
Yes. Now, I don't really see anything that suggests that, but I'm just saying, like, it's risky having somebody with the high ground ball rate as your closer.
You tend to lean towards your philosophy. I'm looking at the stats. He's got a career 288. I think he's pretty damn good.
With that said, my whole bullpen has high ground ball rate, but
well, I'm looking at his numbers. I think he's as solid as they come. So, all right, but let's move on. Let's go to.
We didn't even talk about his lineup.
Well, I mean, what's there to talk about? He's got a damn good lineup. Like, we all know.
What do you think of that Verdugo trade?
I thought it was pretty good both sides. Like, I mean, Verdugo's kind of on the downside of his career. Like, he might have like 1 or 2 good years left, and he gave up some talent, but it was talent that Peter could afford to lose. Like, he has pitching. Yeah. Like, it was one of those, like, LA could use the guys that he gave up.
Like, this is what I wrote about the trade here. I said Verdugo going to Peter for Seeley and Trimble. I would say that Trimble could be pretty decent middle of the roto guy, and I've pretty much never liked Verdugo. Like, I passed on him. I had the chance to draft him first overall, and I didn't. And then Seeley probably won't be anything too special, but a lot of people have said they really liked Verdugo. But like, I don't like that defense at shortstop. I don't care what you're doing.
I know Maddie spoke about that.
Oh, I didn't even read Maddie. Like, that's just what I think about shortstops.
But I thought it was fine both sides. I think Trimble's a good player. He could turn into a nice, quality arm. Still in peaked. Like, we'll see if he has like a magical jump on him. The other dude, I mean, I'm not really high on him, but he's got upside, so he could. Craig Seeley, he could potentially become something. I mean, who knows? Verdugo, I would like him on my team. That's all I gotta say about that. I mean,
as what? A shortstop?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
You wouldn't mind that?
I wouldn't hate it.
I'm super surprised that Peter would want him as a shortstop, given that the ground ball rates that he's got going on with people. At least according to what the.
I mean, does Verdugo kick the ball? No, he doesn't. He doesn't kick the ball. He's got a career .979 filling percentage. His range isn't bad. He doesn't kick the ball.
No, his range is good for our file. It's the arm and fielding that are below average.
But like, why do we all want to expect to have Omar Vizquel at shortstop and then Brandon Phillips at second base? Like, it's nice to have those guys. But
it's because Mogul way overvalues defense in this game.
Yeah, that's true.
You can. There's a correlation between strong teams and strong defense. Like where in real life you can probably get away with having a little bit worse defense in some infield spots as long as they're knocking it up a notch offensively. That's not really the case in this game.
I hear you.
To have 79 arm, 92 range, and 83 fielding, that's risky business right there. Risky business. Like, you better hope that Verdugo keeps playing the way he is right now for most of the season. Well, otherwise, it's probably not worth having him there.
What I'm saying is, yeah, I understand that he's like a red flag or a risk to pedestrian stuff, but I don't think he's going to necessarily lose you the game. You can win with him. You can win with Verdugo. He can hit. It's harder for him hitting shortstop. Maybe that outweighs his potential miscue, that one miscue. Maybe the extra run, that extra RBI, it outweighs, or the extra 20 RBIs that he gets per season than the average. I don't have any averages on me, or I didn't even calculate, but I'm just saying
I get what you're saying though.
He got 76 RBIs last year. What if the average in FCM was 45 to 50 RBIs per major league shortstops?
Well, that comes back to the fact where RBI doesn't really matter too much. It's pretty much the same thing.
Sure, but what I'm saying is he's creating runs.
Yeah.
Whatever way I'm saying it right now is he's creating more runs than the average dude.
Yeah.
So, would that outweigh his potential gaffe on defense, or does it balance out to have an average shortstop and have exceptional defense? I don't know. I'm just saying. I think you can't really lose with Verdugo.
All right. What do you think about the rest of his lineup? I mean, Danny, he's good. Brian Wood, he's definitely good. Although he's off to a shaky start, but that's only one sim.
It's weird with his. I mean, I like his lineup. It's just weird because he's got stars in his lineup who has never broke out to become an MVP. Right. I've always expected Dennis to maybe break out and become an MVP. Brian Would he break out and become an MVP? They all having great careers.
25 dingers and a 939 OPS. That's damn good.
What I'm saying is, he hasn't become. I love this, but I'm just saying, with those vitals and that skill set, I would think that one of those dudes would become a almost like Nat Macy. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I expected an MVP on his resume at some point.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, you know how mobile is with selecting MVPs and all that shit.
But they've all been consistent, I guess. I just thought that maybe one of them would take the next level and just become the man. But he's got a good lineup. There's nothing bad you could say about Washington. It's just awful that he is the Minnesota Twins of the 2000s. Just can't get it. Can't get that hill.
Good old Justin Morneau.
It's like a Buck Showalter team, It's you just can't get there. But once you're out, the other dude's just gonna win 3 in a row. They're gonna win.
All right. That's enough talking about Peter for one day.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Mets?
Mets, I've always been a fan of the Mets.
I'm really confused on his starting rotation. He's got Costello as his eighth. But
yeah,
take a look at Owen Houston. Why isn't he his ace?
It's funny because I'm kind of looking at Houston for the first time. I'm just saying, shit, he's an ace.
I guess the argument you could make is that I've seen it. I don't have any actual data to back this up other than seeing it personally. Sometimes if you take a guy who is not peaked and you put him in the ace role, or you put him in the number 3 batter role or number 4, for whatever reason, he does not play the way he should. And I don't know if this is just something in my head or if it's any truth to it, but it's just something I've witnessed. So maybe that's why he's not in the ace role.
I mean, he's pitching very well.
Yeah.
He will one day be the ace, but maybe when he peaks out, he's number 1. I guess you don't need to rush.
Also, I'm not sure of G Money's stance on left-handed pitching. Maybe that's why he doesn't want him as his ace either, because lefties can sometimes get beat up. But I always find, you know what, if your lefty has really good vitals, that doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah, some lefties are just fine the way they are.
Oh yeah, I completely agree.
I get that some lefties are a little like a guy like on like I think Cantrell's a lefty. He might be a lefty, but I know that guy Nick is a lefty from Detroit's rotation. That's type of dude I wouldn't worry about. Wouldn't even worry about. I think Houston's one of those dudes who will become that guy. Just don't even worry about the lefty righty shit.
And then you even got Hildenbrandt, who
is
probably better than Speedy Costello. At least vitals wise.
Yeah, at least vitals wise right now. But in terms of
performance, I guess you could kind of go
Costello.
Yeah,
he's better body of work, I guess. But he added a closer, McDonald. He's kind of had success at closer for the last couple of years.
Chuck McDonald.
Yeah, but he seems to get a good bullpen year in year out. Even if it's a dude who's like 70 overall, like he had that dude Jeff Robinson, and he dominated with him. So I think they're going to be another playoff run. I think Atlanta falls short. I think Florida falls short too, actually.
What, of the division or playoffs?
My gut feeling says both, and I think it's Washington, New York.
Really?
And then a second team will, whether it's St. Louis or Arizona, San Fran, Los Angeles.
No one in the Central is going to be doing shit. Not with anything here.
Well, I mean, I think St. Louis has a shot for a wild card.
If anything, I think you would probably have one of the better shots.
I would have a very outside shot, like very outside.
So what do you think makes? So you think New York's going to win the division, or just get a wild card spot?
I think it's going to be a coin toss between Washington and New York.
All right. So what makes?
And then I would say Washington.
New York. What makes?
My vote. If you're going to put my vote down, it's Washington. Well, unfortunately, they might stink it up, first round of the playoffs, and then, beat goes on. But I'm going to say
what makes G Money's team so good on the offensive side?
I mean, it's just balanced, like top to bottom. Look at his ninth bat. His ninth bat could do some damage too.
His shortstop actually. That's one of those weird ones too, where it's like not as good defense, but he's going to be putting up some good numbers.
He's originally a second baseman, and I think Pat O'Neill's actually a pretty bad shortstop. He would be an elite second baseman. And
that's right. Actually, now that I look at those, some of those numbers are for second base. You're right.
I remember seeing him as a second baseman. He came from San Francisco. He got traded, moved to shortstop, and I knew it was like something ain't right, because I know the dude from Boston, David Horn, would have the same issue.
He has predicted at both, but you're right. He's much better as a second baseman.
This game is so weird when it comes to change positions. Pat O'Neill should be a second baseman. It's actually probably hurting the Mets that he's playing a short. Like, it sucks, but he's not a good shortstop, and you probably would need to trade either him or Clay and get yourself a shortstop, because you can't play them both at middle infield, because you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. Like I want Verdugo shortstop. I don't want Pat O'Neill. I don't want him.
No, I don't want Pat O'Neill at shortstop either.
No,
he sucks there.
Give me Verdugo.
Get that shit out of here.
Give me Verdugo. I mean,
I don't want Verdugo either, but I would take him over Pat O'Neill.
Yes, that's my point. But
I'm pretty sure Matty disagrees with that.
Well, you just look at the number, like the fielding percentage is well below average. But I think overall, it's not. I mean, that he won't hurt them in a win-loss column, but maybe in a big spot. But I think he'll get a wild card, and I think Washington's got this.
So what do you think about that acquisition of his first baseman, Vinny Evans? You
It's
think
funny
it
because
was
he was
worthwhile picking
actually
him up?
he was actually one of my key guys that
Like a target of yours you were going to get?
no not of mine of needs, and then New York needed a first baseman because I remember I've always asked G Money like, hey, do you need a first baseman, because he had a huge hole,
Right.
and him picking up Evans, I thought that was like literally the perfect fit.
Yeah, that
And
was a good move.
I mean,
I
he's not
mean,
performing right now,
he's
but
probably not worth the 14 million you signed, but when it's the New York Mets, that's basically him paying him like 2 million. So
yeah, I mean, I thought so. Yeah, he's probably not going to play like he did in his early years, but he's not decrepit. He's not that old. He's probably going to drop a little bit by within the 3 years that he's owed. Um,
I basically think you're just going to get what he's been doing. You're going to probably get 20 home runs. He's going to have a decent base percentage. That's what you're going
well,
to get out of him. But like, it was a good pickup. He
I
needed a
thought
first baseman. He went and got himself a first baseman.
yeah, I thought that was the best pickup in terms of needs. Vinny Evans to New York, because I knew he needed a first baseman.
I want to say there was a first baseman available for trade somewhere, but I'm not sure.
No, I tried to trade him, my dude Urita, for years, but
Yeah, that's it right here. Mike Nabruji or however
the guy
that
from Philly.
Maddie picked up.
Uh,
I'm surprised that I don't. Maybe G Money was in the running here for him, but I'm surprised he didn't go after him hard
I'm surprised many
because
teams didn't go after him. I think he's pretty solid.
no. Just to go off on a little bit of a tangent here,
But
however you want to pronounce that guy's name, Mike
let's call
Nabrugi
him Newbridge. Newbridge.
Newbridge. There, Mike Newbridge who's on Cleveland now from Philly. Um, he, I think, is going to be a good player because I mean, 24 homers. His average isn't great, but he's got a good on base percentage, a good OPS. I'm surprised that G Money didn't go after him. Maybe he wanted to save his assets for something else. But
Well, who knows what he had to give up to get a Newbridge? I didn't see what Matty gave up, but he got Vinny Evans for a 6-round pick. So
yeah, well, I mean, in the cash, but that really doesn't mean that much. Um, Cleveland gave up a pretty decent haul to get him. He gave up
pick up the
McIntyre, Dainty, a second, third, fifth, and sixth.
okay. Well, the players are trash, like you know that, but it's a picks. So yeah, I mean, I think he gave a pretty good value, fair value. I mean, um, the players I really don't. Those are just bridge type players. McIntyre, he's a bridge player. He's just a guy to hold until your prospect comes up. Same goes with the. The guy Dainty, I think he's a prospect. But I remember at first glance,
I actually like Dainty.
yeah.
I mean, I don't like that he's
Matt has been
24
on the
years
chat
old.
asking like who wants Dainty. He never answered him. So
Well, I mean, I'm also not gonna pay the outlandish prices that he's also asking. I pretty much have a rule: don't trade with Matty,
okay.
unless that he's rebuilding or I'm rebuilding.
All right, you heard it here.
It's, and I don't know if that comes because it's like we're both in the same division, so I don't know if he's trying to make me give up more, or maybe he just thinks the players that he's trying to deal away are worth that much. I mean, and if he does, that's his opinion, and he can try and get that value, but I'm not going to give it.
All right, so let's move on since we're on the NL East for a long time. Let's go
All
to
right,
this.
where are we going?
Well, actually, let's go AL because I don't want to stay in NL for too long and kind of lose people. So let's go AL West. Just to throw in a wrinkle.
All right, we're throwing it, just jumping from the east right to the west. All right,
Well,
where in time is
only
Carmen
because I don't want to
Sandiego?
be too predictable, and want people like, they won't go to the AL West until 45 minutes later.
How long have we been doing this, anyways? Actually, you got it. Does it say how long we've been doing this?
To be honest, I have no fucking clue.
Who cares?
Who
I'm
cares?
game to talk about this for
Whatever.
however long.
I have no fucking clue. But all right, maybe we could try to speed things up, or just be more cognizant of time here. But
Oh, come on. If Maddie and Andy and G Money can talk for like 80 hours, so can we.
all right, well, AL West, who you got?
Who do I think is going to take the division?
And to me, this is the division that's probably the weakest.
Crappy one, yeah.
And
well, I would say actually the Central. Well,
no,
I don't think that. I think it's probably about a toss-up between the Central and the West that who's the weakest, but I could definitely see your arguments.
No, I think AL West is definitely the weakest of.
So what do I think of Texas, who's off to a great start?
Yes.
Well,
I thought Texas was gonna make a lot of noise last year, but it just
I don't know why Rosado is pitching fifth for them. I mean, he's hurt right now, but I don't understand why you have him at fifth.
Where would you want him?
I'd probably put him at number 2 at least.
Yeah, he was.
Why are you putting Wallbank there?
When he picked him up from me, he was actually off to a hot start, and then his ERA just spiked up. He's let's just put it this way: in 2 trades that he's been involved in to go into playoff teams, he had shit the bed. When I picked him up from Florida in '62, man, I counted on him, and he shit the bed.
Can't handle that pressure.
And then he had a respectable season for the next 3, but like he was okay at best. I thought he was gonna be a lot better, but he was okay.
But his rotation is solid. Bullpen, he's got some issues there. He probably needs. Also, I don't know why the hell Solzano is a long man. Like, did he just not do a lineup or something, or what? Because why is Solzano your long man and not Peralta?
Solzano was picked up last year for good money, and I was actually bidding him too. But he went for really good money, and he immediately dropped. So he was a big disappointment for them. So that probably plays a part.
I mean, maybe he's putting him there because it's 55 health, and he figures if he plays long man, like, maybe you're not going to.
Part of it could be that he was really shit last year, and he wasn't trusted. He actually went down at AAA. If he puts together, better, like good starts, like he has 1 start. If he keeps doing that, maybe he'll give him the spot back. But
true, but here's my thoughts on having a bad season. If the vitals are good, I just think that it was just could be a fluke. It's when you're stringing together crappy seasons, that's your problem. He had 1 bad season.
And a drop. Let's not forget that.
Okay, yes, he had a drop, but his vitals are still they're still better than Peralta's.
Sure.
And Peralta has probably been he had a decent season last year, it looks like, but he hasn't been great. So when it comes to like fairly similar seasons, I would go vitals. Solzano has better vitals, you toss him in there. Unless, like I said, that maybe he's playing him at long man because of the 55 health, so maybe he figures, sure, I'm not going to get the starts out of him, but he'll see somewhat important time on the field, and he'll be healthy all season versus, maybe he'll only start 25 games for me.
And here's the next thing I have for Texas to kind of get away from the pitching. His offense is just odd to me. I feel like his offense has good players, but they're either not, they don't mesh well, or it's just not a good combination of players. He's got a great third hitter, and he's got Dan Wheeler, but he doesn't. Like, I'm not sure why DeAndre Robinson is a leadoff hitter.
Yeah, that I would not be doing that. He reminds me of like a Tossin type. I don't know if you remember him. He was on my team.
No.
I mean, Tossin has more contact. But like, he reminds me of, he's a good hitter and he has really good speed. And why is he batting leadoff? Like, he should probably bat him number 3 is what I would do. and then put Biggle number 4.
Biggle should be batting third. I think in this lineup, which doesn't have a leadoff hitter, your leadoff hitter should be Norcross, and just turn stolen bases all the way to 0. He is your best on base guy. He's your best contact guy. DeAndre Robinson should not be your leadoff.
You put Norcross as his leadoff?
Of all of his options, I would have Norcross as his leadoff. Yes.
Yeah, I suppose. But then if you turn stolen bases down to 0, then you get rid of a big part of Robinson's skill set.
I mean, he steals 20 bags a year. It's not an impact that will change a season. He gets the most at bats. The guy who bats first gets the most at bats. You want a guy who you can trust to have as leadoff hitter because he's going to get the most at bats. You don't want a guy batting 222 and has most at bats in the team. You want a guy to at least hit 300.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a bad player, but you have better options at number 1. Norcross is your best option. I mean, Norcross isn't the best leadoff hitter in the league, but he's your best leadoff hitter in his team.
Yeah, I guess I would have to agree with that. I can't really disagree there. And then where would you put Robinson then?
Towards the middle to the bottom.
So, like 4th then?
Nah, probably 5th, 6th, 7th, 5, 6, 7. I would flip that. I would flip Norcross 1, Garcia 2, because he has potential to be a good overall hitter if he could display this power and contact.
Right.
Biggle, Wheeler, and then pick and choose from there. Robinson.
Yeah, I get where you come from.
So I mean, his
lineup does look solid though.
Looks solid, but I just think it's just out of order.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Let's rolling on over to Seattle here.
Seattle. All right.
What do you think of that trade for Aaron Tyler?
For Aaron Tyler, I've never been a fan of Aaron Tyler, first and foremost.
Well, that build just pisses me off.
It's just more of the statistics for me. And he gives up a shit ton of homers. He's more of the more attractive version of Phil Egan. The more attractive version because he had better vitals.
Well, he's also a lefty, though, which is going to hurt him.
Which is
especially with this build.
Which is also what Phil Egan is. He's just a more attractive look than Phil Egan.
Egan lefty?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think he gave up a lot for this guy.
Yeah, I don't understand this deal.
If you look deeper, Tyler dropped. Tyler does not look that great. He looks like a wash. Even though he's pitching well, it's been one start. It's been small sample size, so he's.
I don't get why you give up this much for a guy when you have people like Pittsburgh dealing everything under the sun right now. Like, you go after Weingartner. And a matter of fact, I would bet money if he would have offered that deal for Weingartner.
That deal would have worked. Yeah.
He would have got Weingartner, who's a better pitcher. Yes, he's got some scary health problems. He's got the Marin syndrome going on. But he is way, way, way better.
Marin's got his own disease like Lou Gehrig. It's weird. That dude just like walks and he's hurt.
Yeah, but when he's on that diamond, he's damn good.
All right, well, moving on to the rest of Seattle. Yeah, he like just by looking at his team, it looks aged, and it's not aged like whiskey. It's aged like
skunky beer.
Yeah, like a skunky beer. Askew's not the guy he once was out of Detroit. Like, he's still solid.
He can still hold it down, though.
He can still hold it down, but
he's like Fleming, basically.
Is he going to put up his 59 numbers?
No. Lola, it's okay. Sorry, my dog was. She craved attention.
Someone trying to murder you? Like, yo, turn off the broadcast, yo. Mike is dead.
I'm not dead. Did you hear that though?
All of a sudden, he has slice.
That sounds like the Chinese place I was at.
That's just racist, yo. What the fuck? Anyway, he picked up Questel from Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Um,
That was a good move.
It's a good move, but just again, like Seattle's just picking up aging to aged players.
You're 29 years old, like.
But he's. I feel like his whole team is just guys who are 29 years old. Like, what's the window?
That's fine.
What's the window?
The window could be like 3-4 years.
Okay. I just feel like his team is just stacked full of those guys.
What's wrong with? What did he deal for him? I can't seem to recall.
I don't know, but just seeing that he has Questel and Aaron Tyler, I think he gave up the entire asset list. So.
Yeah, because I know there's some people on his team that I'm pretty sure are untouchable. At least they used to be. Maybe he doesn't have them anymore. Maybe they became starters. I don't know. Yeah, I can't really recall who is untouchable or not now. But yeah, I mean his team's aging a little bit. And Contreras, what the hell is he doing playing shortstop?
Let's see.
It makes me want to puke a little bit, actually.
He's like the Pat O'Neill, but he's actually like true.
Yeah, he's actually terrible. His arm's terrible. His range is terrible. His fielding is average, and his offense is not going to get it done. I mean, I do agree with him. Yeah, like he's a decent lineup guy, but why didn't you pick up somebody at like the league man who can play defense? Travis Irwine would be better there, and he can't hit for shit, but he can play defense.
Who's this?
Travis Irwine.
I don't even see him. Travis Irwine. I'm looking at.
He'll be a free agent for all I know. No, he got signed by the Rays. PR signed him.
Oh, I think he's on Seattle. You confused me.
No.
Yeah, he's just a catch and throw guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
back to Seattle though, but
yeah,
Roud, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I know he's looking to trade him. He's due for free agency, so you could see him being a Type A guy at the end of the year if he's not traded.
Roud a Type A.
Well, I think someone will bite. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's just the weird thing because
I could see somebody biting.
If he becomes Type B, right?
He'll get signed for sure then.
He'll get signed as a Type A. He'll get signed as Type A money.
Yeah.
Because he'll be part of a bidding war and someone's going to pull the trigger. But if he's tabbed as a Type A, he might not be touched. Like he won't get the bidding war.
Well, no, he won't get the bidding war for sure.
So the safe move would be a Type B. Sure. I think you should Type A him because I think people would want to buy that. Maybe one of the big market teams. Because like let's just say Brett Roud was a Type A, like this summer, and Vinny Evans was not on the list. Let's just say he's not on it.
Okay.
G Money I would say he's going to sign Brett Roud.
Oh yeah, hands down, he would have been signed.
Exactly. So maybe depending on the market, Type A him. Just give it a shot. I don't know. I'd say give it a shot.
And Mark Vasey, I definitely don't like that build against righties, but it seems to work for some teams. It seems to work for him in Seattle.
Yeah, he's got the Dan Uggla looking offensive ability.
He's just like that build right there would never work on my team. But throw him on Chicago White Sox, it works. Throw him in Seattle here, it works.
He just doesn't have the defensive outlook of the team that can get it done.
He's playing all right at second base.
I just realized he has Kurt Longworth. He actually looks like a pretty good first baseman. So he's probably why that Roud's going to be a chip that needs to be moved.
Ooh, he doesn't look as good as Roud though, and he's a righty.
Yeah, but
I mean, Roud's a righty too, but I think that's night and day between Roud and Longworth. To be honest with you,
yeah,
way better defense for Longworth, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, but that's going to be minimized at first base, anyways.
hold on. You can keep talking. I'm just gonna send a link.
The thing is,
Put it on
you probably need to move Roud if you want to get any good value back from him, or you just type A and hope to get him, because looking at his budget here, he doesn't have a lot of play.
Looking at his budget, not a lot to play with. You're saying?
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of play here. He's actually projected to lose a mil, but he probably won't because Mogul's really weird that way, anyways. Unless he starts losing. And like Eli Nunes, or Nuns rather, he's a piece of shit. Really. There's no pussyfooting around here. 65 contact. Yeah, he's got a decent eye and some good power, but he is a lefty platoon.
You know what? I'll tell you something. I had a build like that. He's on my team right now. Albert Rodriguez. If you just want to jump to my team, he has under 70 contact, but somehow he puts up decent, consistent numbers.
Where is he? Rodriguez.
He's in AAA, but like he'll put up an OPS maybe around 800. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
There's a type of build in center field that you could, he's not gonna be a star, but you could almost count on someone who's under 70 contact at center field in that sort of build.
I don't think you can count on him to be hitting like he's hitting right now, though. That's for sure.
No, hell no. He'll probably be batting like 220, but have a lot, like a huge slugging percentage.
He seems to have a lot of players with that build. I don't know if you're going to be able to rely on that going down the stretch. So Seattle, you're probably finishing behind Texas side, bro.
Yeah.
Especially because you blew your wad on that Tyler deal. That's going to hurt him.
I don't think Seattle has the juice to. I mean, even though I don't think it takes that much juice to even get on top of the division, I just don't think Seattle has that juice either.
I mean, LA, we can probably gloss over as far as competing goes. He's selling, and I don't really think people are going to be buying what he's selling. Mel Brown. Does anybody really want to pay for him? I mean,
no.
You might be able to get him and toss him in at 4th or 5th, and hope that he gets that. Too. Hopefully that he gets that 3-something ERA. Adam Trimble. He's probably not. I would say I don't think he's going to be flipping him. I don't know. I can't even remember who GM's LA right now, but
is it Old Wiseman? It's Old Wiseman.
Okay, yes. I would say he's probably not going to be flipping Trimble. Ward Tart, he's a piece of crap, and he's not getting moved unless he sends like a 1st-round pick. Or I'm exaggerating. You're not going to need to send a 1st-round pick with him, but no one's picking him up unless you give.
Well, the good news is that Ward Tart's off the books.
Yeah,
he's got a couple 1-year deals. Mel Brown's off the books. So.
I mean, he has no need to worry about payroll anyway.
Hart's off the books. That's 3 major contracts you got there off the books.
Oh crap! I gotta step away for a quick second. I gotta wake up Chantal. So talk about something.
Well, Mike went to go murder his fiance. He's gotta wake her up from the grave. That's kind of weird. So I'm gonna do this solo. All right, let's. This is fucking weird. All right, so I'll talk about the AL East stuff. Alone. Fuck it. It's clearly gonna be Boston. Let's see if anyone's listening. Fred. All right, so Boston. They're not hitting well. Holy shit, they're batting .218. They got the Salt Ivan. He probably got hurt from the jump. No, he's actually. This line's all fucked up. Yeah, Boston's off to a slow start. Like I'm talking to someone, I'm talking to my fucking self. This is odd. New York. Shortstop. Oh,
All right, I'm back here.
did you murder your fiance or something? Or
Yeah, the dogs are outside. I don't know if you get that reference. You might
like,
if you're a wrestling fan, but or not a wrestling fan, but you used to be.
all right. Is that like Call of Duty reference? Maybe.
No, that's a Chris Benoit reference. But
I never heard that reference. I know Chris Benoit, but I don't know that reference.
well, I'm not going to get into the whole story about Chris Benoit. It was a pretty tasteless joke. But
It's funny because Chris Benoit, obviously like pre-murder and going crazy. He was one of my favorite wrestlers when I was a fan.
oh yeah, he's awesome.
He was one of my favorites.
I still like his work.
Let's not get on this tangent right now. Let's not get on this tangent right now.
Let's rein it back in.
You just made me talk alone about the Boston Red Sox and how they're not hitting. I'm talking to a fucking brick wall.
You skipped over to the AL East?
Well, there's nothing else to talk about.
Well, yeah, LA needs to just deal shit. That's what they need to do.
I actually think Houston is one of those teams that just never, who I thought had talent and just never really took it to the next level. Like they never really became a threat. Like I thought they had pretty good pitching at one point. I thought they had good hitters with Tucker, and they had that outfielder that eventually was traded to Texas, Wheeler. I think an extra piece, but like it's just weird that team never really came to fruition. I wonder why. It might have been defense. I haven't really looked too deep, but it might have been defense. It might have been something else. But I can tell
you right now, he has got a damn good ace that is going to carry him.
Yes.
Velasquez is.
He was moved around quite a bit, like to Atlanta, to Texas, to like Cleveland, and now he's found a home.
He's going to make Texas, Houston, but I guess that's in Texas. He's going to make his home there for a good long ass time.
Yeah, I think him and Toledano are two pretty good starters. Toledano's a little more shaky, but I think he's pretty good. He's not even peaked yet.
The thing is, after that, he drops down quite a bit in talent. Going to Tom Denny. You need more than two good starters to carry your team.
All right. Here's my thing on the AL West division. If you were to tell me, okay, pick a team right now, I'm taking Houston. They have the best skills, players with skill, and they have the best financial situation. They have the best players, and they have the best financial situation.
All right, but
I think Texas is the best franchise.
Well, first thing that Houston needs to do is get Joe Arnold the hell away from third base. Get him out of there.
He should be a shortstop.
Well, he definitely should be at third base. I can tell you that.
He was okay at shortstop. I was actually looking to pick him up if I, kind of still looking to pick him up. We just never really got a deal. But yeah, I thought he was an okay shortstop. Just getting it done. He's just
I don't get this. He's playing Varela at shortstop.
I wonder if he put in a lineup because I know he had what's it called?
He's got Yepes on the bench.
Oh, what the fuck is that? Yepes. I think he's a third baseman who can only hit.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Let's take a closer look at this team.
Yepes is actually in lineup. I think he got dragged the lineup. I think it might be that little glitch because for me he's batting third.
Right.
I mean, he doesn't have a star player. Well, besides Tucker.
Take a look at his offense here. That pitching's not going to carry him. He's not winning the division.
No, I'm not saying he's winning the division at all.
So you think he might get a wild card spot?
No. What I'm saying is, if I were to pick up a team with the best situation, I'm picking up the Astros.
Best situation for what? Adding stuff or being bad or what?
Just setting yourself up to be a good franchise.
Oh yeah, I can.
Houston would be the team to watch in the next couple of years if treated properly or if anything shakes up.
Oh yeah, he's got some pieces. Chevrolet looks good at right field there.
Houston has assets that could jump, that could be traded.
Edward Berger looks like he could
Yeah.
be good if he
He's got a
takes
top
a nice
pick. He's
jump.
got Montez Robinson. He's got Chad Walker, who I've been high on. He's got Sherlani, who was the first overall pick. Like, that team's got some talent, bro.
I can buy what you're selling there. I'll buy that for $1.
So it's just one of those teams you gotta look at. So Texas, the tornado, he might have a team in the future.
Oakland, I don't even know what the hell Fred's doing. I don't.
Oh,
Don't know.
Fred's online too. So if he's listening, he says, "Wake up and smell the A's."
So smell the shit, like the A's as an assholes, because what the hell? What the hell's that?
It might be a fart noise. I'm not sure.
Wake up and smell the assholes. That's about what you're doing with the A's right now. Like, I don't know what he's doing. I don't.
I'm gonna sip on my coffee and let you talk.
Like, all right. I'm not saying his team's bad here. I just don't know what the hell he's doing. Because someone I never seem to see on. I don't really see him ever bidding in free agency that much. Maybe I'm just missing it, I guess. Let's see here. His ace is... Yeah. I don't like him. Stanford, he's okay. Matty would probably like somebody like that. Knighton's trash. Tony Waters is trash. Watson Jr. is trash. Moreno is probably okay in the pen. His bullpen is average, I guess. It's just, I don't know. I just don't know what's going on there. It seems like he's been rebuilding forever. What are your thoughts?
Well, while you're in your little rant, I was able to get a drink of water, pick up my bunch of crunch candy, like I'm ready to go. And you went in. I mean, I know that Fred's not rebuilt. He's not competing.
Here he is, Fred. I'm rebuilding, idiot. What do you think you are, Chris Jericho, right now? You stupid idiot.
All right, Mike's getting hot tonight.
So he's rebuilding.
What Fred's got to do is just keep continuing to pick up good talent from the draftees. And lately, I would say his draftees have been lacking. Like, he picked up Williford in the first round.
Let me check this. Let me check this shit out.
I'm just gonna go over. Let me go over his recent
draft picks. Well, last year, Jorge Rodriguez. Yeah, he looks like shit.
Let's see draft picks. Yeah, I say if there's anything that Fred needs to do, he needs to put his full focus on that first round pick, because he's been picking up guys who don't really look apart. Like Williford, as I said, he faded out quick. That was in 61. 62, Tigner. He's got that weird build, but he's also a reliever. So if he does become a good pitcher,
Homer Smith is going to be good, though.
Oh no, Homer Smith was like, no pun intended, it was a home run. That was kind of easy. Yeah, like Todd Tippett, the Jerry's still out. His minor league stats don't really tell you something.
Here we go with minor league stats.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna look at anything, Homer Smith, I think he's gonna stud. Like, you just look at his vitals.
Tippett still has a chance. Don't get me wrong here.
He has a chance, but
I don't like him really.
But to build your core as a first round pick, that hurts your team. If the guy's not gonna come around, like within the last 4 or 5 drafts, the one guy you could hold your hat on would be Homer Smith, and you just need to have more surrounding him to say, okay, I can see something that's building here.
Might even behoove you to don't make fun of me, Chantal. It might make sense to actually trade Homer Smith.
No. You keep Homer Smith. I think he's going like.
Why do you keep him?
Why do you?
Are you going to win in 5 years though?
Well, because one, what the hell is your leverage? What are you gonna trade him for? Why are you trading a guy like Homer Smith?
Well, you wouldn't trade away Homer Smith right now, but he's
So,
going
like,
to take his jump. Then you trade him.
all right, but Oakland's not going anywhere right now. All right, you let him peak out. Well, not peak out, or just become a MLB ready starter.
All
And
right.
if there's a need for starting pitching, and if he's still a rookie, he will be the hottest player on the market.
Well,
And
if you don't fall into the quote unquote buyer's market, but that's a topic for later.
And then maybe you trade him. But right now, you don't even touch him. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. Let him develop. You got time on him.
Well, yeah, you probably got 2 years, and he'll be developed.
Like, I would think that if he wants to get a jump start on starting pitching, or not starting, or draft picks, whatever. Look at the two horses that you got, Stanford and Derek. You know, those two guys are ready to. Those guys are ready to rock right now. I actually asked him on Derek because I think he's a pretty good starter. Like, he doesn't make as much sense on the Oakland A's right now. On another team, he would. And if a team is really hungry for a pitcher, they're going to give up a lot for him.
Team's getting thirsty for pitchers here.
Derek is going to be the chip, and Stanford is right behind him. He's actually pretty damn good in his own right. And they're both. And what he can say is they're both unbeaten. They're both pitching well, and they both have full team control.
Yeah, I would say, you know what, move them. Yeah,
he can flip those two guys, and he can get some first round picks.
Because honestly, you might want to move him now because Stanford.
I
don't want to give the Stanford a jinx here, but he could be one of those guys that has like a 1 or 2 year peak because he's a late bloomer here, like pretty late.
Sure. Yeah, he's 27 years old. Like, trade him now.
So, I mean, I'm not telling teams not to trade for him, but that'd be something to watch out for.
He's in his age 28 season, so he's actually not 27. He's going to be 28 this year. Like, this is age 28 season.
Yeah.
So he's 28, so maybe this is the time to trade a guy like Mike Stanford and get yourself some pick because he's worth the first round pick. Someone could trade a first round pick for him.
Yeah, but if all you're getting is 1 first round pick, no, you keep him. You don't deal him for a first. You don't pull a hokey and deal him for 1 pick. You don't. I'm not saying he's near Hellier levels here, but you don't deal him for 1 pick.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You go for a variety.
You should be getting, like, for Stanford, you should be shooting for a first and a third, probably. First and third and fourth. If he jumps, you could probably get a little bit more. But you shouldn't be dealing them for 1 pick.
But yeah, if I'm Fred and I'm the A's, it's all about the drafting, and you just pick up core guys. And it's just tough when you pick up a dude like a Williford who could set your core back a couple of years later. Like,
oh, Fred wants to know the guys that are talking. Well, this is me, Mike the Hitman Hart, Kansas City Royals GM.
I don't know. Is my chat on? Is he chatting through the website?
Through the Zap box.
Whatever.
Jermaine's the other guy.
Yeah. My computer's running a little slow, Freddie, so I can't really read the chat too fast because I have the stream on, I have the screen share and all that. So
yeah,
unless it was
that's enough about Oakland anyway. That's pretty good. He's gonna lose this year. Just keep that rebuild going. Deal off some of the stuff that's gonna peak. He can turn it around.
Well, it's gonna take a while.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna take a minute. But now's the time to make your smart money moves.
The right moves now are gonna determine if you're good in the next 3 to 5 years. Basically.
No, I disagree. Well, I mean, yeah, I agree with that. But like, the moves you make now are the moves that you could make that will, like, get your 9th best player, 10th best player in the future.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to get a quality guy.
No, you're not going to be getting some sort of stud player, but you're going to be getting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're not going to get a stud player for a guy like Cabrera right now. You're not, and you're probably not going to be able to trade him at all. But if you are going to trade him, get someone of like a 70 peak who has high upside.
Yeah.
Who maybe become something. If you are going to trade him, I don't think anyone's going to bite him because of his contract. but like whatever you can do to trade off one of your major league guys who aren't Derek or Stanford, like a guy like Knighton,
Yeah.
if he's pitching well, or actually, I'm actually a fan of his relief pitching. Moreno, I think Carroll. Those are the two guys. Like, if you deal off those guys and get yourself a mid-tier prospect.
You like Efrain Moreno?
I do. I remember talking to him about him.
What do you like about him?
Just because I think he could be a serviceable reliever. It's hard to find a relief pitcher.
Yeah, serviceable. He's not going to be more than serviceable here. You might be able to get something for him, though.
I ain't saying I'm picking up Mariano Rivera.
Well, no, I just thought you were saying, like, yeah, you would take him as a closer, but I guess you're not.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, he's the guy who could be on other teams.
Keith Carroll, I would not pay a dime for.
I didn't look at him. I think I just said him off the bat. Like, there's a second guy. Not even Carroll, but there was a second.
Matthew Ponsart, former Royal here, holding it down. Man, Ponsart was a bust.
Yeah, but again, last thing, Derek and Stanford. Those are the two chips. So let's move to my division, the NL Central.
Andy's got it, hands down. It says.
Yeah, I mean that's no. There's no debate about that. We know that.
I think we already talked about his team, but to run over quick, Broderick, Miller, Belota. That's all you really need to say.
Yeah, and the scary part is once Belota has that jump, if he has a jump, he probably will.
Oh man,
the rich just get richer, So I think he's got the championship team. There's nothing more to say. Like
the fourth and fifth pitcher worry me a bit, especially when you get to the playoffs. Their top three is going to carry you through the season, but when you get to the playoffs, you still need that fourth pitcher to chime in a bit. Then again, you could just rely, you take the loss on that game and then just ride the back of Broderick and Miller and Belota again. So maybe he doesn't really need to make a move. But you seem to see a lot of the good teams with basically 4 to 5 good pitchers.
And he's got the luxury of having multiple first-round picks. He's got prospects who are close to ready who look attractive. He's got a lot to trade that could help another team out, for the rebuild. And in return, he can get someone that's primed for a championship run. So
his bullpen's also
Andy has made tremendous trades. Like he made that deal. He made.
Oh well, you already know my stance on that deal. With that he made last year.
It wasn't even that deal. It was one of the deals that jumped out at me. That I said, "Damn, Andy made a fucking hell of a move." When he did that dude, Ligonier, first overall, that outfielder who looks like Vizcaya.
Oh, right, yeah. And then he ended up flipping him
to San Diego for Victor Ramirez and Santiago, his current shortstop. I said, holy shit.
Yeah, that's just good GMing right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what Andy does.
When I saw that, I shook my head. I was like, fuck.
It's like yes, I wish I would have been able to do that.
Because I saw that Santiago, whatever you want to call him. It's not Santiago. It's
Santiago. I don't know.
Saw that. I said, Ramirez might be the dude he's even looking at. I think it's a shortstop. He's going to be a star. Yeah. So it was just moves like that. And then he picked up some dude from New York, Stanley, who could be great. He hasn't really played well, but he could be great, and he's excellent in the field. It was just an example of why Andy makes great deals. So, and then he picked up the ace of all aces last year.
Oh yes.
And hell, I didn't even see how he picked up Cliff Miller. Like Cliff Miller wasn't on my radar until I saw him at 64. I was like, wait, who the fuck is this? And then I see how he got traded. I'm like, oh shit, PR. And he took Shockley, and I remember Shockley was dealt immediately after he was picked up by Tampa Bay, and then he went to you.
Look at the freaking numbers that Jared Fox is putting up. That is just a weird ass build. I mean, I don't think he's going to continue that, but
Who are we talking about?
second baseman Jared Fox is batting sixth.
Oh yeah, he's actually got him to play crazy well ever since coming from Minnesota. I never thought that he would have the stats that he had last year. He played tremendous, 20 homers, 73 bombs, 73 ribeyes. I thought he played, out of his ass.
I like Andy's lineup.
It is pouring where I'm at right now. Holy shit.
I do think he could stand to gain like another top tier slugger. However, his lineup as is, like, he's got that division on lock.
Yeah, no, division's on lock. We're just kind of giving a little lip service, but
and he's got Dan Vines coming up.
Yeah, and he could be, the heir to Hudson.
Yeah, Hudson's getting type A this offseason.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Definitely. And I mean, he's had a great run. But let's move on. Cubs, who picked up.
And Cubs are now GM'd by Maverick, I believe.
Maverick, yes, and he's made some sneaky moves, like the Joel Tice move.
Yeah, I think I actually wrote something about that. Give me a second.
Which, in my opinion, that's great. Joel Tice he could be the best player in the game. And the scarier part is, he has 3 seasons on the books. Like he's now getting arbitration money, but his 3 seasons were age 20, 21, 22.
Yeah, there's not really much more for me to add on Joel Tice. He's a stud.
Yeah, he's a stud. Like when he hits age 25, age 26, the thought is I think that he's just going to put MVP numbers, and if he doesn't, that'll be weird. So, I think Cubs got a hell of a player for the #1 overall pick, and he's got Kyle Jackson, who's another good third baseman. He could be a stud too.
This is another lineup that I think is wonky. Maybe Ortozico since he had an injury, maybe he took a drop with it. I don't know. No, it doesn't look like it. Why is he your ace?
Who are you talking about?
Why is Ortozico Chicago Cubs ace right now?
Ortozo. I remember it should be Edney, if not Viscavet. I don't know. I know he had 1 tremendous season with Seattle, or 2 tremendous seasons, but I thought the man would be either Edney or Viscavet. I think Viscavet should be the ace. And Ortozo should be number 3. But overall, like, besides talking about individual players, I think Chicago has got a sneaky good team that can make some noise. I don't know what you think, but I think Chicago's a sneaky team.
Let me take
not to win the division, obviously.
Okay, let me just confirm here. Is Vandermon batting leadoff against righties?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
He should not be. He should not be. But
so you need to. I don't know if you keep him in the lineup or what do you do, but he should be batting leadoff.
Vandermon is probably one of the most valuable bench players in this league because he could play everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a starter, but center field or outfield in general in this league, you could find someone.
Looking through his lineup, he doesn't have a lot of weak spots either. I'm not speaking defensively here, purely offensively. Like,
I'm looking defensively, and he's got Ryan Travis at shortstop, which is my immediate red flag.
Wait, why? Oh yeah, okay.
So offensively,
he's not a shortstop. That's why.
Exactly. Offensively, talent. Defensively, poor. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of good things about this lineup. It's just a couple maneuvers that you can make, and I think this team can make some noise. Travis needs to be a second baseman. Vandermon needs to stick to his utility role on the bench because I think Vandermon is probably one of the more valuable players in this league.
Ooh, what do you do with Benton Mitchell when he comes up? Because he should be up in the bigs right now, probably. Playing that short, because
first glance third base.
Yeah,
but there's no room, obviously. Shortstop, he could probably.
Well, I mean, Let's see. You can
Shortstop,
DH somebody.
shortstop, he could probably get it done, but have a bunch of errors. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not a shortstop. Let's just
Yeah, see,
he's not a
that's
shortstop.
one of those things. I think he was probably drafted to play short, obviously, because he's listed as a shortstop. That's why I don't take shortstops high. I know he was drafted in the 3rd round, so this doesn't really apply to Mitchell too much, but I've seen a trend lately, and maybe it's just in my head again. I'm pretty sure I'm recalling this correctly. Like, people are taking shortstops in the 1st round. You got to remind yourself here, the chances of this shortstop becoming anything decent with the bat is slim to none. It's slim to none. If he's got great defense, Bogle seems to be shitting on him offensively. What kind of impact is a shortstop really gonna have on your team?
All right, my take on it is if you could find a shortstop like Cincinnati's Santiago or top of my head, is there like good shortstop that I would take in the 1st round, like an all-around guy, or hell, even John Drone from San Francisco, I think is bar none the best shortstop in the league. You could absolutely take him first, absolutely. And there's actually a wave of guys who have potential to be decent bats. I'm not going to say they're going to have Nomar Garciaparra numbers, but to have like Verdugo type numbers potentially, that's pretty good. Like the dude from New York Council, he's one of the guys who could be great as a shortstop and as an offensive threat. There was like one of my guys who I got a trade from Colorado, Vasquez. He could be a good offensive threat. There's a wave of shortstops, and the dude from Cincinnati, obviously the guy from San Fran.
I don't think Vasquez is going to be too good, but he could be respectable.
Again, I'm not saying no more Garciaparra.
No.
I'm saying more in this league. If you get a guy who's as good as Edgar Renteria, you have yourself a star. And there's been a wave of guys. Wave.
Oh, we got Andy listening now.
I don't know. How do we know if people are listening?
I'm just in the. I also have the Zat open.
Okay.
But at least I'm assuming. At least I assume he's listening. Fred linked him.
Well, to kind of argue with you, because you said you wouldn't waste a 1st round pick, I would absolutely do that if you see a guy.
Okay, if you think he's going to turn into Gendron, yeah. Okay, yes. But I've seen some picks where it's like, he's not going to be a Gendron. Why waste a 1st round pick on someone who's batting 9th? I don't care if he's above average, even in batting for shortstops. Like, that impact on your team is very, very, very minimal.
Okay, so you see a dude like let's have a redraft. You see a guy like Santiago right now in the draft. You're not taking him in the 1st round.
Okay, who's
Santiago from Cincinnati. You're not gonna take him in the 1st round.
Let me just bring him up here.
You're gonna tell me you're not gonna take him, and you could solidify your shortstop position, which is impossible.
Okay, well, the way Santiago looks right now, yeah, of course I'm taking him. Yeah. I don't know what he looked on draft day though.
But whatever. I'm done arguing with that. But I'm saying is, it's hard to find a shortstop in this league, and other people are going to gun for that shortstop. So to get yourself ahead by selecting a dude, knowing that you're going to be set for the next 10 years,
it's hard to find a shortstop that can hit. Yes.
Exactly. So you waste your 1st round pick on the guy if you have faith that the guy could put up respectable numbers. Because you could find an outfielder. Like I made the big mistake that one year when I drafted some outfielder Gullidge, and I had Tarleton on the radar. He's on Cleveland. I was ready to pick Tarleton, even though Tarleton's not the shortstop that's going to hit bombs or like that. But he would have solidified a position for years. I didn't take Tarleton, and I should have. Even though he's not the offensive threat, he would have held down position for years.
Well, I mean, if he puts up that 800 OPS that he's doing right now,
In 11
yeah.
games, that's small sample size theater we're talking
He's probably not, but
if he could put up a 700 OPS, I would be happy with Tarleton. You think differently, but like there's another dude from Detroit who he picked up from Minnesota who's interesting, Marzan. Like he could put up numbers. He could put up numbers. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he seems to be too, because last year he had a good season.
Like those are guys I would be okay with spending a first round pick on. Maybe not a top 5 pick, but
late first, maybe mid first.
Say again.
Mid first, late first.
Yeah, mid first, late first. Like I didn't hate on New York spending that high pick on Hounsell. Like that would be the guy. He spent a second overall on him. I'm totally cool with that because he's going to be better offensively, and he's going to hold down position. That's a core guy you could keep there for years and years. And if you have the second overall pick, likely you'll probably suck that year too. So you pick up another dude who you could fill, who could make up your core. You know, maybe a catcher, maybe like outfield, you could find those guys. Shortstop, it's hard to find that guy. Catcher, it's hard to find that guy. An ace, it's hard to find that guy. So shortstop, I think, is part of that list.
I'm always scared with if you're not going to have 90s across the board as a shortstop. Maybe that's just how I build. Or maybe it's just I need to change that.
So you want freaking Nomar Garciaparra hitting, and you want Ozzie Smith fielding. Like what?
It's because, like I said, like unless I think you are going to hit well enough to not be ninth, I'm probably not drafting you in the first round as a shortstop.
We've been on this incredible tangent about shortstops for about 10 minutes now. So going back to the NL Central,
St. Louis,
who I will continue to say that's a team that will make some noise. It's just a couple pieces, and it's been the same story, just a couple pieces.
Ooh, boy. I didn't look at his rotation that closely before.
Like a bullpen and a strong shortstop. Even though I think he corrected that with a good defensive shortstop. He used to have a shortstop that could play defense. And
he certainly corrected that with closer, but anything would have been better. Actually, I think he corrected it last season midway or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think he did too. Even though I'm still like kind of iffy on the whole starter being a reliever thing, but I would just need to see a season of it. But anyway,
some guys it works out, some it doesn't. Basically,
sure. But to go back, I think St. Louis is one of those teams that could hit the wild card, maybe win that game because he's got some dominant pitching. And
he could do better than Andy. Actually,
I don't think so. I think Andy's got it all together. He's got literally the best starter in the game. He's got the second best starter in the game, and he still has Hudson, who plays his ass off like over his overall every single year. So you can.
I'm not saying.
I mean, hell, he had the Cy Young Award winner and the MVP award winner, and he's got the second best starter. So
fair enough. I'm not saying he will take the division, St. Louis, but he can certainly give Andy a run for his money. That lineup is very deadly too.
Andy's probably going to division by 10 plus games.
That much, eh?
Yeah, 10 plus. He's going to win over 100. The second place team maybe can win 88 to 90, maybe. And if my vote would be St. Louis. Again, Cincinnati's going to win by 10 plus. But I think St. Louis is one of those scary teams down the stretch that could sneak into the wild card, pitch one game, and then just pitch their way to the top. They're like a poor man's Florida, but a more attractive looking Florida Marlins because of their offense.
Right.
They just haven't put it all together. Like you put St. Louis and Florida side by side, you would think that St. Louis would have more success than they've had. Maybe it's
I would agree with that for sure.
So and St. Louis like has an underrated offense. But if they upgraded some of the dudes like and shortstop as a hitter and at first baseman.
Yeah, but what are you gonna?
Yeah,
What are you gonna get at shortstop at hitting? You're not. You can't.
someone who has better than a 6.6 contact. Someone who has more than a 584 career OPS.
Yeah, but his defense speaks for itself.
Yeah, but you could find a guy who could.
Actually, his defense at shortstop is worse than it is at third base. Now that I take a closer look at it, actually.
He's got the weird defensive runs thing, which I don't.
I don't understand how mobile works. Those,
All
I can
know
tell
is
you right now, they're screwed up. That's
yeah. All I know is that whenever I see it as a huge negative number, I usually look at it like, what the hell is that? But like, why is it so bad? I think it has something to do with the bad defense, but like range wise, I don't know. And I like his third baseman. Like he's got a guy who could fill the position.
all right. So, what do you think about your team, Jermaine? Let's talk about that Bernie Hellier deal. I think you got. I'm going to tell you exactly what I wrote when I was.
Bring it to me, bro. Let's go.
When I was
like, don't even hold it back. Don't even hold it back. Just fucking say it.
This is what I said. SP Hellier from Florida to Milwaukee for 9th overall. This will go down in the books as one hell of a lost opportunity from Hokie to grab a lot of talent. I mean, no Genge in the deal, no other picks or top specs. His control is worrisome, sure, but he's pitched really well. What are your thoughts?
Okay. What I expect is regression from not to be all super negative, but no, like let's just be real. Hellier pitched in a crazy ballpark for as long as being in the league, so I expect some sort of regression. But he still has a good strikeout rate. He does not walk the world. He might.
I'm worried about his home runs.
Yeah, but it's not Aaron Tyler status.
Okay, no. I think T-Ball Towers could pitch better than Tyler.
But
Josh Towers.
I wanted to start making some noise, and I wanted to pick up a reliable starter and not spend everything.
Oh hell no! You got a good deal on that. Anytime you can pick up a good piece for one draft pick, you basically just said, here you go. I am going to give you a piece that may not even develop for a piece that is definitely good who is not old. I don't understand that move by Hokie.
But here's the downside, though. I'm trading a very high premium pick. I've done this before. I've done this a couple years ago when I made the playoffs for that 1 year. When I picked up Mick Duluth and I picked up Heron, and I traded 4th overall. That 4th overall became an ace. So, you know.
Yeah, and I have no doubt in my mind that Hokie could draft an ace.
Would I go back and reverse that deal? No, I would not do that. But would I think twice about it in the future? Yes. So I did think twice about this, but the reason why I like this trade is because I could get more years out of Hellier than I would Mick Duluth. And I think my team is just structured better than it was in 2062 as a playoff year. And I wasn't even that great of a team. I won 84 games that year. I won 87 games that won the division because every other team was rebuilding. But
I don't understand why. Maybe no one was coming to him with offers, but I don't understand why you make a 1-for-1. Unless his plan is to trade down from 9th.
No, I think he has so much faith in his ability to draft that he is cool with getting the highest pick that he can possibly get. And that would outweigh whatever sum that someone else would do. Like, I have a pitcher who's on the radar at number 9 that I was going to take.
Right.
And I know that Hokie's going to take.
Like, did he even ask for Genge?
No. And quite frankly, I was looking for a deal tonight. I was obviously stingent to trade Genge. I was going to say, okay, no, thank you. I'll look elsewhere. So if it was Genge on the table, then this deal would have never happened. So, like,
maybe he doesn't like Genge either. I mean, there's things not to like about Clay Genge, but I think he's going to be good. But so if this was Genge, if Genge was on the table, you would just be like, no, I'm not doing it.
If he or I?
You.
Yeah, I would say no. Because I would look elsewhere to just trade that one pick. And if I don't get the 1-for-1 deal, okay, I move on.
Right.
Why spend Genge when I could just ask another team, hey, is your ace available? And what do you like? I have a pick, you know?
That's my same thoughts with Hoka here. It's like, why didn't he just be like, all right, so I'm only getting one pick. Let me just talk around here. I guess you could say
I don't know if he was going to get a pick
15 mil for
I
through
don't think he was going to get a pick.
2069.
I don't think he was going to get a pick that was better than number 9.
Well, no, he wasn't. No,
So maybe that's why he did it.
Yeah, I guess we'd have to ask the man himself. I don't see him on, though.
He wants the top pick. He wants the highest pick. Like, if you were to ask him, would you want number 9 or number 22 and 26? He wants number 9. Would you want number 9 or would you want number 15 and number 16?
Number 15 and 16. Easy for me, but
he probably would want number 9.
So you obviously... Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, maybe he has... Obviously, I can't speak for him, but I think he just has that much faith in his own drafting ability to pick up a guy who could be just as good as Heliar, and he has other dudes who could replace him.
Yeah.
So
you obviously think that you're going to make the playoffs by making that deal.
I still have some pieces that needs to either improve or, like, if Blake can become if he could jump and become my number 4 batter, that gives me a better shot.
So you don't think you're going to make the playoffs as is right now?
I'm a long shot.
Because that changes my outlook a bit on the trade. If you don't think you're making the playoffs, why do you trade pick 9 for Heliar, who's 31?
Because I know I can make some noise and I know I could build around him.
For how long, though?
I think he has good longevity. I think he'll have it. I'm obviously taking my risk on him, but I've had, I haven't had I've had the luxury to pick up an ace during my tenure. So to have an ace there for maybe 5-6 seasons would be better than to take another project pick like a Lawson and just kind of have my hopes and just maybe he'll come in ace. No, I want an ace now. And
so you definitely have your ace.
And I picked up
Daughtery's okay.
Yeah, I picked him up. I thought at a fair rate. At least
pretty sure I wrote about that one too. In here.
My end, I said, he could be an underrated starter. He's got a high ground ball rate. We'll see. If he could repeat his 64, awesome. We'll see. So, I think my team hinges on the development of Tara, Stanley, Blake, what's his name? Genge, McKibben. Those are the core guys I'm kind of counting on as my core guys. I need those guys to become good players. So the sum would be possibly a playoff team.
Right.
If I don't get a Genge, if I don't get a McKibben, if I don't get a Blake to become what he could be, if I don't get the jumps out of Stanley or Tara to become just that much better, maybe not superstar level, but to become good players, good all-around players, so I can have an all-around good team, then my team's not going to be much if I don't get that. If I do, then we're talking. My team's not going to be built on 5 dominant starting pitchers. Like, my team's a little bit different than how Cincinnati's right now.
Yeah.
So
I liked that Aguilar signing.
I do too.
It was a little too long.
Yeah. I had it for the extra year because I didn't want to spend the money up front for the third year.
Oh, you might as well. Like, when it comes to extending, like, putting more years on the contract, if it's going to pretty much equal the same amount of money, you may as well just take that extra year. It's interest-free loan, in my opinion. That's how I have always looked at it.
I was thinking I could get 3 years out of him. I could definitely get 2. If I could squeeze it.
I think you'll be lucky to get 1.
That's harsh. I think he has good balls, man.
Yeah, I think you're going to get this year and
next year.
I think you're going to be sadly mistaken about what's going to happen next year.
Well,
He's going to nosedive again. You see that drop from 35 to 36? Picture another one of those come the offseason.
yeah, but he still has 90 contact and 92 eye. And he still has an arm. I know he's not going to put up 61 numbers.
Okay, like, if you think he'll be an average catcher afterwards, yeah, I think. But if you mean startable, yeah. He's not going to be the Aguilar of 2065 or 64 after this year. He won't. There's no way.
I think he has 2 more years of 65 and 64. I think he has 2 more years of that. In the third year, we'll see. The fourth year is probably going to be eating money, to be honest with you.
But like you said, you're basically getting an interest-free loan.
Say again?
You're basically getting an interest-free loan by just giving him another year. You might as well take it.
Yeah.
Rather than make it shorter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So basically, with my team, I'm almost betting on the guys who I need jumps from. That's basically the outlook.
Your season hinges on that.
Yes, my season hinges on my core guys.
Because you're definitely not winning the division. That's out of the question. You're going to be trying to sneak a wild card spot.
And
I think Cincinnati, Chicago, and St. Louis are quite a bit better.
Like, I think Chicago and I are almost close to each other, closer. I think St. Louis is better than me right now. He's got better talent on the outfield. Even though I don't really slash on my outfield. I love the defense I'm putting out there and the fact that they're all switch hitters. But I like the guy St. Louis is putting up, Smith and Dow. They're both like superstars. So I definitely think that he has the best outfield. But I think my outfield is nothing to slouch over. And plus, if Stanley and Tara could get that jump, they'll look that much better. I mean, I think Tara, the way he is pretty solid. Switch hitting, 95 eye, and he could run a little bit. He could get maybe 20 stolen bags, and he plays a great left field.
I agree.
I'm just saying, I think I have an underrated team. That
you think that the sum is greater than its parts right now?
Correct. I don't have stars, but I think the sum could be greater than its parts.
So there's Pittsburgh. Obviously, he's selling pieces. Do you think he's doing a good job at doing that? Do you think he needed to do it?
He's making. There was a couple of great deals he made. That one he made. Who did he make it with? Was it with LA?
Quistel, where he traded Quistel. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, he traded Juan Rivera, and I thought that was a crazy good move.
Let me see if I've got it listed in there.
He got multiple high picks. I think the only problem with Gilly, and it's just a nitpick because I think he's doing a tremendous job. I think he falls in love too much with the whole draft class, than to get like multiple first round picks.
So you're saying he wants, like he's taking the draft class rather than like taking a few high picks.
Well, I feel like once someone offers him the whole draft class, it's like almost an instant, like we're good.
Game over, we're good to go. Well, I mean, you also got to look at it this way. If
he's
you're not doing
that, he's getting depth through the draft.
If you're not doing the whole draft class thing, you also have to look. A team doesn't just magically have 2 first-round draft picks to give you.
That's true, but they can also have
they have to have good specs too.
Prospect who can equate to being a high first-round pick.
Yes.
That's also. I mean, I really can't disrespect him at all because he's doing a tremendous job. He's training off his guys to get first-round pick. He's going to be stocked this draft, and it's going to be up to him if he drafts the correct guys.
I haven't looked over this draft class yet, so I don't know if it's good to have top picks or not. But
when I first saw the draft, I said, "Nah, this draft is gonna be shit." But then when I kind of dove a little deep, I still need to dive deeper. But I believe there's a lot of first basemen, and there's some starting pitchers who. There's starting pitchers in every draft, but I think there's some guys in here who could be really good. And I have to look deeper, but and I'll take me a minute to kind of filter through the draft. Maybe we could have another podcast about draft class.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have one about the draft class, even if I don't have any picks, because I probably won't by the time that comes. I mean, I can almost guarantee that I've got a couple irons in the fire. One of them may or may not be with Pittsburgh. If one deal doesn't happen, the other will be. Let's just put it that way. I've got 2 irons in the fire that involve some of the same pieces. If one deal doesn't happen, the other will be happening. So I'm not going to have a first-round draft pick.
Okay.
So you can put your money on that, Maddie.
All right, let's move on. Let's go to the AL East. That's our last division. Well, we didn't really go too deep about that.
We didn't really talk about the Central that much.
Yeah, but let's go East.
Yeah, we'll go East. Boston, hands down, they've got it. This is what I wrote about Boston. This is kind of going to sound a little bit harsh on Chuck, but I love you, Chuck. What did I say about him? He's the easy favorite for the division. He has it pretty much all minus the closer, I would say. Injury woes could see him slip a little bit on the pitching side, but he should be fine because he has plenty of depth there. Like, that was one of the big things why he actually wouldn't trade me. I was looking to pick up – who was it off? Well, there was a few guys I was looking to pick off. I mean, I was looking to pick up even Peter Wilson off him, who's aging a bit, and I was willing to give pretty good value. He wouldn't deal him because he's just like, I'm going to have one of my pitchers injured pretty much every sim. I need someone to slide in there. So I'll give him that. He'll be pretty much there. But this is my thing with Chuck. The only way Chuck won't take the division
Here we go.
is if Chuck makes some more boneheaded moves this year. And even then, I still think they stand to crush everyone in the division.
I don't want to get into a crush fest.
You don't think they're going to crush everyone in there? Tell me, what has Kane been doing? Tell me what New York's been doing. I still don't know what Eric's trying to pull off in New York. Still don't.
I actually think Eric's team is a team that's on the rise. I think he's got something brewing.
Well, they have solid pitching. Like I said, I don't really know what their direction is.
I think that's
by solid, I mean that's not the kind of ace I'd want to have on my staff. But I think they're going to finish middle of the road, and I don't like. They have some decent stuff in the minors. I mean, Joe Wright, he's not going to be an ace. He's probably barely going to be rotation worthy. He's going to be like one of those back end guys. Greening, he could flip either way. I mean, he's not someone I'd want to be banking on. And who else he got in the minors that's going to be coming up anytime soon for pitching? You don't.
All right. Well, let me jump to my thoughts on AL East. The AL East is going to be Boston's by default.
Yeah,
I'm a little worried.
You pretty much can't go wrong there.
I'm a little worried that Chuck will make some moves like he did last year.
Yeah, Chuck will chuck his team.
He's not going to hurt his chances, but maybe he'll hurt his chances in the long run, or maybe sneak another team that could come in like a Baltimore, like a New York.
So, Chuck, if you're listening to this right now, or if you're going to listen to it.
Well, let's not listen to him right now. Let me talk. What I'm saying is he will make a move that will kind of shorten the gap between first place and second place. Because he's trade off stars to get almost like what I do. I'll trade a star and I'll get like a sum, then to get like one part.
Right.
But if you're Boston, you take the part. You don't take the sum. You take the part.
No, you take the best player and you get rid of salary somewhere else. Or, hell, trade for cash. You have plenty of friggin' players here that people would just be lining up to get.
So I get a little worried that he's going to trade guys to, get depth or something. And, it'll just weaken his team, which will kind of bring another team into contention, like a Baltimore, like a New York. And I think Baltimore has got a team that's right at the brink, who's been like on the borderline for the last couple of years. I know they changed GMs, but they have pieces to either make a crazy move or like they have one of the best pitchers in the game, Ben Street.
Well, I think saying one of the best pitchers is a little bit saying a little bit too much. I mean,
Not a stretch.
For having those vitals, he certainly hasn't been lights out.
I agree with that. But he had his best year last year.
Yeah.
So maybe we're seeing the best of Ben Street.
And his contract's coming up. Like he's actually going to be hitting. Well, he could be hitting free agency, or he's going to get like an actual real contract now. So I don't know if Ben Street's going to be on the Baltimore Orioles come playoff time.
So,
speaking of playoffs, that's something else I kind of wanted to talk about, the trade deadline. But we can talk about that later.
All right, well, let's just keep moving on with the AL East. I think Boston's got this on lock. I think New York, Baltimore are teams like New York is a team I think will have a good improvement in my opinion. They have some pieces in there that I like. Baltimore is one of those teams that they have a slight window right now, and if they want to go for it, they can't really wait long because they have an aging outfielder who is still elite, Takabe. He's still elite. They have a 29-year-old ace. They have Omerod, who is still putting up good overall numbers, but he's dropping. So you might see the end of Omerod very soon. He might have 1 to 2. Hell, this might be his last good year out of him, or even a year. You got Vincent, who he hasn't really become a great player. He's a good player, but he's not a great player. You might see the last of his good statistics. And Jesse Smith, he's probably going to go down at some point. He just doesn't have guys that they're all kind of hitting their peak. So this is like the window. So if you're going to make a move, if you're going to go for it, now's the time. You can't really, like a team like the Yankees, they have guys who are on peak. They have a good team now, but they have a window. They have
his bullpen's nice.
Baltimore or New York?
New York. Well, if they start playing better, but like he's doing the whole starter as bullpen.
Yeah, I see that. But my point is that I'll buy more stock into New York because they could have potential for longer term success than Baltimore. So Baltimore, this is their last year, in my opinion, of competing.
Yeah.
I think they should blow it up, but this is their last year competing. Another team I'm buying stock in is the Tampa Bay Rays.
No.
I'm not
this year. Not this year.
No. I'm not saying this year. I'm saying as an overall franchise.
Yes, that I will agree with.
I'm buying stock.
Because Huey.
I have looked at their team multiple times. I said, damn, they got I said, they got 3. They got 3.
Like that's dirty right there. You've got Jeremy Huey. I'm not saying they're going to be superstars, though. These are guys that you probably would be number 2s, to be honest.
But they're all going to be good in their own right.
But having 3 number 2s is a good thing.
That's awesome.
Like Huey, Greer, and Libreros. Libreros. He actually could be one of those ace types. They are going to be good. He's going to be able to build a team on the back of those 3.
Yes, and that's a very good foundation. And they have a guy, D'Amato, who can jump and become that 4th guy. He saw his room to grow, so I think he's a good-looking prospect too. So once he comes up, and they got another guy, Brad Smith, I believe his name is. I think he's a pretty good reliever that could become a good starter once you see him get out of his raw stages. Yeah, I'm buying stock in the Rays.
So why do you think he signed Howie Wright? To flip him maybe? Like next season? But I don't even think he's going to last this season.
No, he's not going to last.
You think he just picked him up to be like, maybe, you know what, maybe he lasts and I can trade him? Yeah,
because he's got the room for him. And he's a guy who you could trade for higher than what you gave away. He gave away, what, a 6th-round pick from him?
6,
yeah, you could probably get back like 3rd-round value if he's still.
If he stays, yeah.
Yeah, if he's still good and his standards. There's a
Honestly,
team.
I was tempted to pick up Howie Wright instead of trading for James Fleming. But with James Fleming, I was like, you know what, I can give a third and fourth now and comp him at the end of the year. Whereas Howie Wright, I'm only going to be giving up a sixth, but he's probably not going to be able to get comped.
And let me get this straight. He signed a 2-year deal, so he's allowed to trade him after July 1st.
Yes.
Okay, so he's tradable this year. So at the deadline, I think it was a good, smart money move by him. Actually, when I saw that move, because he's got a profit. He's not tied down with Mick Duluth and that lefty Jarman. He had like eating away his money. $8 million, $8 million. He could handle that. And Howie Wright's a good enough pitcher that if you were to trade him at the deadline, maybe to like a Cincinnati or hell, like a team like me or someone who may just need that starter for the year, who could maybe trade like a guy who's like a third or fourth round value, and not be higher than what he gave up. So
we're buying stock in the Rays.
I'm buying stock in the Rays.
Just not this year.
No, as a franchise, as a franchise that would make moves to, position themselves to. And I mean, it's all in PR, but I like his group of guys that he can trade off. Or
so then that leaves our boy Corey.
That leaves our boy Corey.
Oh man,
he's had a
here's his problem, and he'll probably fully admit it himself. Is there's been some seasons where he's just like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm not even scouting the draft. Like he's had some seasons that were pretty much auto picked after the first round. He needs to get on that shit. Like he wasn't left with much from what the hell is his name? Sea Dog. Oh god, Sea Dog. Do you remember the story on Sea Dog, or were you in the league yet? I think you were.
No.
Basically, Sea Dog was Oakland for the longest time, and like he couldn't really get it done there. And he was basically said that if he had a high budget, he'd be able to get it done. Well, he took Andy's Toronto Blue Jays, and well, let's just say he pretty much turned that to shit. So Corey was left with basically shit. So he thought he was going to be able to get this done in 5 years. Nope, he might not even be able to get a good team going in 10 years, like a 10-season rebuild. He's got Fukizawa, who I really like.
Yes.
That's about it for pitching. At least that's coming up anytime soon.
He's almost in the same, like
Blaine Moore, center fielder. He looks nice.
He's almost in the same position as Fred, where if you're gonna have a guy who's either close to major league ready or ready right now, trade him off, because
that's one of his big things. He doesn't like to do that. He will not. I guarantee you, when Fukizawa takes another jump, he won't be dealing them.
Yeah, I mean, I remember he was stinging on trading. What's his name? Gallegos, who was really good at one point, and he looked.
Yeah, I told him like, you're not going to be winning. Why are you holding on to Gallegos? And he wouldn't trade him. And guess what? Then he dropped, and it was way too late to deal.
So I mean, I think that he's actually got guys who can move, and you can get, maybe a third round pick, maybe a fourth round pick, maybe it's somewhere around that type.
Yeah, like Schneider, or however you want to pronounce his name.
Yeah, no, he goes somewhere.
He should be getting moved. Like Hugo Lacera could be possibly moved.
He could possibly hit a bullpen role. He's just got a couple guys. Like I would almost say in the same breath as Oakland.
Wellwood, who I told him to draft. In fact, I should basically have a spot on his scouting staff because he comes to me for tips. I told him to draft Wellwood. I'm pretty sure we probably discussed this playing Rocket League.
Yeah.
Because he's always
jumped. He's
always jumped.
Get you on
that. But like he could be good. But yeah, I agree.
It's just where his contact ends up. When how does his contact develop with his own? I have a huge question about that. So it's never going to be above 70. And if it's at 70, I mean, if it's gonna be over 70, it's gonna be like 71, and it could be 75. He's gonna struggle against lefties, which is fine as long as his righties is above 70. Because it's weird.
But
I think the only positions that has, at least from what I'm gathering, um, from what I see from the eye at least, the positions that could be okay under 70 contact is shortstop and center field.
yeah, if you're gonna go with something like, I would say that.
And I say at first base, like it would just be a black hole because that person's gonna bat 100. If a center fielder could bat like 220 but have like a 500 slugging percentage, a shortstop, who are usually shit, but like I remember that dude Powers, like he has a below 70 contact, but he puts up like good power numbers. So I'd say if you're under 70 at first base, like the dude from Pittsburgh, who always had a high ceiling but just never had that contact. I'm just picking him up right now.
DeVoe?
Yes. Where is he right now? Yeah, he's batting fourth from. Like he's going to bat 100 for his career, and that's where.
If he doesn't get that 70 contact, yes. I'm not saying Wellwood is some sort of money in the bank, but if he hits, he's going to hit big.
I fear he's going to become DeVoe.
That's the fear on him. He's either going to hit big or he's going to be.
That's the line, man. Even though I do agree that he has jumped every year and he's shown that progression, it's just that contact. That's it. Everything else looks great. It's just contact. And that's the most important. That's the lifeline.
So, over or under 5 more years for a rebuild and for the Blue Jays? Because I'm taking over.
I'm leaning over. And
he's got to start actually scouting the draft all the way through. Not like he could get away this when he as being the GM of the Mets. What he does is he doesn't even scout the draft. Like he might scout a little bit for his first pick, but then basically when his draft pick gets close to coming up, he will basically scout then. Like he'll scout the guys around like that area. He's got to scout the draft. You can't afford to be wasting picks because you do not have a 200 mil payroll that you can work with.
Yeah, so you kind of reliant on your good drafting.
You have to.
Yeah.
Like he was known as the draft pick whisperer for a time.
Whisperer.
Because he could just pull out a guy out of his ass because he doesn't scout. And he could just do it. But like that hasn't been working.
Hell, I'd say, I mean, I haven't been here forever. I've only been here for 6 years, 6 seasons in FCM, not in real life, but the draft is very competitive.
Oh yeah, it's huge. That's one of the main reasons why I'd love to see Football Mogul become a good game and take everyone in FCM playing Football Mogul. That would be insane.
There's just an art to baseball and picking up an entire roster. I don't know. I've never done Football Mogul, but I just think baseball drafts and creating a team is there's just a better art to it than football. But I don't know. So, all right. So let's move on to the NL West.
We talked to. Oh no, we didn't. No, we didn't. Okay.
And it's.
I think. Is there anything good to say?
No,
San Francisco Giants look good.
No. First of all, there's plenty good to say. I have always been a fan of San Francisco's roster. Even when they had the playoffs at like 78 wins, I was still like, you know what? Maybe. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I was like, you know what? Maybe. But it's between them and Los Angeles. And Arizona's right there.
Arizona. Like, I'm not going to lie. San Francisco's rotation, I'll bet not the kind of Bills I like. Well, definitely in Twistleton. Yes, San Fran, yeah. Like Ducko looks good, and he's probably going to play at least as good as he played last year, if not better. Brad Weil, he looks good. Of course, I mean, they're off to a shaky start, but Crothers, I don't like that build. I don't think you're going to be getting what Washington touted him as. But that's pretty much the case with anyone Peter trades away.
Call me crazy. Call me crazy. But I think San Francisco is a dark horse for winning it all.
Well, if you go by the 100 Sims, he's supposed to get it like 90 wins. So that wouldn't surprise me. A dark horse to win it all, though?
He is my dark
A dark horse, yeah.
Is a dark horse to win it all. The
He
team
would
that
need-
no one's going to be thinking about.
He would need a kind of run that I went on last year in the playoffs, basically.
I just, like, Jean Drone should be hitting his best years. You got a good starting staff. There's nothing to.
And he's got Gendron, probably the best shortstop in the game.
Oh, no, he is the best shortstop, possibly one of the best players in the game. But
Best players, no. Come on. A guy who puts up like a 900 OPS and 40 homers is a better player than Gendron.
I've seen the best of Jean Drone. 1, 2, he could run, and he get it for power, and he's at a very premium position. He's scoring 100 runs at the shortstop position.
Don't get me wrong, I do really like Gendron. I just wouldn't call him the best player in the league, but
all right. If
that's where we disagree.
If you compare him to the MVP of the NL, to Jim Hudson, I can replace Jim Hudson. I cannot replace Felipe Gendron.
That's true.
I'm taking Gendron as one of the best players in the league because you cannot replace his talent. You cannot replace his numbers. You could replace a Jim Hudson. You could replace you can even replace a McCluskey,
Yeah.
You cannot replace Gendron. That's why I say he's the top three player.
I can buy into that.
If there's a fantasy draft, Gendron should be up there, just because you can get away with getting a tier B guy at your MVP first base position or MVP outfield position and be totally cool with that, and have Gendron by your side. I think Giants, like dark horse, they have good pitching. They have kind of a shaky bullpen, but if they pick someone up. So I get a shout out from Andy. It's pretty nice. Thank you.
Nice. That's high praise coming from the godfather of podcasting.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, like this came from us like playing Rocket League and you like flipping like a fucking burger. Like a burger flipper.
That's a good way to put it, though.
Like you just flip the damn car like you're a damn fucking burger flipper, fucking SpongeBob. Fucking.
Some of the rants we would go on too. Just
yeah, and again, like we plan and we would just rant. So and we would talk good stuff. So we'd just be good. Like while we're shitting the bed, losing like fucking 7-0 in a goddamn soccer match. Like there's nothing else to talk about because you suck ass in Rocket League. Like you're one of the worst Rocket League players of all time.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, me, Corey, Jamie, and Brian are all going to be playing Rocket League tomorrow at his house while we're eating barbecue.
You're one of the worst players of all time. Like if you were talking hella shit about Fred, about his team, I'm talking hella shit about you in your Rocket League. Like you suck.
Moving on to Mitch Meacham here. So what do you think of that trade that he made with me?
San Fran?
Yeah.
Let's see. Base position.
I'll tell you what I think after you.
Well, you asked me, so let me talk. I've said that Meacham has a outside shot to get into the Hall of Fame. And I still think that. And he could still perform, and he's a switch hitter. I just have this weird thing about switch hitting. I love switch hitters.
Well, switch hitters are good. Like, they're pretty good in mobile.
Yeah. And, I mean, like, Meacham, I'm huge on the OPS. And, well, like, although Meacham has declined after his age 30 season, he has maintained a 800 OPS. So his bat, his switch hitting, and his eye plays. So he is one of those dudes who could drop a little bit and overall, but still be pretty good. Like as an underrated, probably not 16 million, but.
Oh no, he's overpaid now for sure.
But is he? Is he overpaid?
like I had a tough time.
Listen. You're looking at the overall. I'm looking at the numbers. Is he overpaid?
Yeah,
He's
what I
overpaid.
would
Is he
what
that
I would have
overpaid?
to say though is
Like people are paying
is
that
he
much.
gonna put up is he gonna
People
put
are
up
paying
those same
60
numbers as
million.
last year?
People are paying 60 million to get 100 OPS now.
Yeah.
People are paying that. Is he overpaid? I don't think so.
Here's why I dealt him. You saw how far over budget I was in the offseason. I was like at 150 mil payroll for a little bit, I think, or close to it. I was like, I needed to move something, and I figured I can replace Meacham, who I didn't really want to move. I don't think he's going to put up the same numbers as he put up for me in 2065. I think that's going to drop to about 15 homers. He still should have a good on base percentage and fairly good OPS. But like one drop out of this guy, and he's done for the year. And I can't afford to have a void. I just can't because I don't have the space.
Sure.
So
another team can afford that.
Yes.
You can't.
So I figured I can probably replace most of what Meacham can do with Jose Ramirez.
Let me check.
He's not going to get the OPS because he's definitely not going to hit for power, but he's going to get on base quite well, and he's making league minimum.
I'm going to say up front, are you smoking right now?
No.
Like,
I don't need what Meacham was bringing to the table for me, though. He's not an extreme power bat, like, so I just need someone who's going to get on base, really. So that means I'm not saying Ramirez is better than Meacham.
He's like Victor Martinez, but like worse. He's a guy who can maybe get on base, but like stay at first base. He ain't going.
Yeah, but that's probably what I want him to do. He's gonna get on base, and someone else is gonna knock him in. Hopefully, Stansfield.
Okay. I mean, if you're budget shopping, okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
If you're trying to replace Meacham's like his impact, then I think you're smoking. So, okay, but you do not play him out like do not take him out of DH.
Oh no, you can't. I tried him at third base, and I think that was hurting me. That's why I then immediately traded for Stansfield and
I don't know why you're using him as your DH. Like you could do so much better. Just use a power dude who can get an OPS that's comparable, if not way better.
What? You don't think I should be playing Ramirez at DH?
I don't think you should be playing Ramirez at all.
I just want a guy who's going to get. I don't know if you understand exactly how I build my teams, but I need everyone to do a job. What I need out of this spot here is I need you to get on base. Ramirez is going to do that for me on the cheap. My teams have always been like that.
Yeah,
my teams have always built the sum is way better than the parts. And it's because I go by that flat. You have a job. Dave Purdy is probably not going to be, some sort of 900 OPS hitter, but he's certainly going to be able to knock some out of the park. I need him to do that. He's playing third, or he's playing slotted in third, and he's probably my best power hitter, even over Acosta.
I feel like you could pick up a dude on the low who can get you a good DH number.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm looking for a DH, and maybe that's one of the irons I have in the fire right now.
Okay, I guess you don't want to give it away. But anyway, let's go back to the Giants because I'm on this little rant stuff. Yeah, I think they're a underrated, like, good team that could take it to the next level. I think they have the parts. Los Angeles is right there too. And I would say
what's his name?
I would say if Andy decided not to kind of put away the mogul for a little bit, which I think he should because I'm in that same division, you know what I'm saying? But like if Cincinnati was not there, San Fran, LA would be battling out to get to the NLCS, and I think one of those teams will get at it and potentially take on Andy and get to the World Series. I mean, LA has it all.
It's hard to argue with that. Like,
LA has it all. He
doesn't have a closer. He doesn't have a closer.
Fuck yeah, he does. He's got Rich Phillips. He's got Rich Phillips.
Okay, but
wait. Tell me about. So you're saying you like his 3-4? You don't like his 3-4-5 ERA, but you tell me that.
No, I like him. I like him.
For you to use a Hall of Fame vote.
All right, I like him. His vitals. He's way outplaying his vitals. Let's put it that way.
Well, the numbers don't fucking lie. Like he's putting up numbers. He put up two good seasons, 2 good full seasons. What's there not to like about Rich Phillips? And he's got other dudes who could. I don't know if he's got other dudes to fill the role, but like he's got a decent bullpen. Might need a little bit of work, but he's got an ace, and he's got an ace. He's got a second ace. He's got a second ace. Yeah. He's got a second ace, and he's got a great number 3 who has played. His body of work has been very good throughout his career. Mark White, very good. So you anticipate him having like a 3.5 to a 3.8 ERA. So he'll be like a 15-win guy. Vernal, for some reason, has pitched excellent just for LA. So LA's got a great staff, and his hitting is tremendous.
His hitting is what I think the young
like,
kids say today on fleek.
Like what? When I said about San Fran being a dark horse to make the World Series, like LA is not a dark horse. They can make the World Series easily. No one would even argue that. McCluskey, Bodner, Rivera. He's a good hitter. He's not really a good fielder. Greenewald. Great catcher.
Like Gilsthorpe.
Gilsthorpe has been a great third baseman with a great glove. I've been a big fan of Rodrigo Cabrera.
Which that's actually one quick thing I want to mention here. Third base is not some sort of throwaway defensive position.
No, it's actually it's just as important as shortstop.
It is important.
As important.
No, okay, I wouldn't say as important as shortstop, but I will say
it will kill you if you don't have a third baseman. It will kill you.
I've rocked teams with probably about average defense at third base, like Jaquan Smith.
You can get away with them, sure. But anyway, let's focus on the Dodgers. Gilsthorpe is a tremendous third base. He hit 43 homers last year. I mean, you know me, I'm a big fan of OPS. He is like I would think that he is great to nearing elite category of third baseman.
Yeah, he's elite. If anything, you're worried about his splits, but his splits seems to be okay.
He's fine.
I could see any year though his splits being shit, just because that's how mobile is.
And he could have an MVP season out of Seth Bodner, and if not, he'll have a potential MVP season out of McCluskey.
Bodner is going to be probably one of the best first basemen in the league for years to come.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I did not want to get rid of him, but I had to get a good second baseman.
And I've always been a big fan of Rodrigo Cabrera. He steals a lot of bags. And he fields his center field position. You can't ask for more out of your center fielder. I've always been a fan.
Whoa. 56 arm and 74 fielding?
His field percentage is at 990 career. It's like,
okay, I don't know what a good amount of putouts is or anything like that, really. That's not something I super pay attention to, but...
Listen, Bernie Williams made it happen in center field. Johnny Damon made it happen in center field. They weren't Torrey Hunter. They weren't Andrew Jones. As long as you can catch the ball in center field, you're good. All right? 990 career field percentage won't kill you.
I mean, that's the fielding percentage is good. It's the arm that worries me.
Okay, I'll say again. Bernie Williams, Johnny Damon.
Johnny Damon was overrated.
Bernie Williams, Johnny Damon. Who else? Who has a shit arm? who made it happen. Curtis Granderson. Like they could range, they could catch the ball. Not going to make many outfield assists. That's all I got. Like even Mike Trout's got pretty good, but yeah, you can get away with a guy who can just range and catch the ball. He's got Keeley, who's an underrated outfielder who he got 29 and 109, and he squeezed out 29 and 109 out of him. He's an underrated player, and he's at the bottom of the order. He's got a great catcher who could put together a great season for years to come from Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah, Greenwald. I can't remember what my thoughts were on that deal, but for some reason I'm thinking he got a steal.
Yeah, PR is he's a ticking time bomb. Like you just never know what's gonna happen. You just never know.
I think he's starting to catch on though. Finally.
I mean, I don't know if finally, but like he has the eyes to find good talent. It's just maybe he gets too impatient, maybe. But yeah, Greenwald's a stud, man. He's a stud, and he picked up a decent second baseman, and he's got a shortstop who could play decent too. He got look what Andrews did for him last year. That's good. That's good. I have a shortstop, 15 and 56, 728 OPS, field position.
That's better than most of the shortstops in this league. I can tell you that.
And not to mention, he has Justin Frakes on the bench who could play second base if Tim Campbell doesn't get it done. He's got guys. So Los Angeles is a good team. Now, a team who made some noise, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Rendricks has got that. It's like he's stolen the source of the that mogul magic. He's found that place, and he's able to put some stuff together.
He is.
He's got a good.
He doesn't have
a great rotation, but he has got a good rotation. Like he's got basically 4 number 2s.
He's like the sneaky guy who could be a couple games out of the wild card and can make a move. That's like how I look at it. Only because I just think that LA is a way dominant team that we have yet to see the potential of, and San Fran, who doesn't exactly have they're all pretty much all peaked, but I just think they're pretty good overall, and I think they're a better team than Arizona right now. But it wouldn't shock me at all if Arizona ends up better than San Fran.
And like
just wouldn't shock me at all.
He's got a lot of cash on hand. He can pick up some contracts. I mean, he picked up Jason Wade a couple years ago. From me fairly cheap. Didn't really work out for him, but if someone needs a pitcher, you could probably pick him up dirt cheap from Arizona, and that even frees up more space.
It might be just a little bit tricky to pick up pitching there because it's more of a bandbox. But I do like his starters. I do like Will Griff. I've always liked Will Griff. I think he's one of those underrated guys who are almost like the guy Mark White from LA. Just a little bit. He's got the little consistency role. He's 29. The unknown dude that probably doesn't have many All-Star appearances. 1 All-Star appearance in 8 years. I think he's pretty solid. He's got Unicum from Florida, who's yet to really break out. He has a lot of dudes who are good, but win 10 games and lose 14 games. But he picked up 2 dudes from Pittsburgh, Rafael Gonzalez and Pete Strafford. Love those 2 guys. Huge fan.
Yes. Was that this offseason?
Yep. And so he has the outfield as the best in the NL between Arizona and St. Louis. Those two. I would even give it a nod to Arizona.
Here's what I wrote about that trade. Arizona picks up a couple outfielders and Gonzalez and Stratford for picks 1 to 4 from Arizona, a 4th from Detroit, and $10 million cash, which is going to Gillies Pirates. May have been able to get a bit more because they are very good players. Nice bats to have at the top of the lineup. But if you wanted to secure a first-round pick, this was probably the way to go. But these guys are good. Your lineup is set. Just done.
And on top of it,
Jenkins, I like him too.
Yeah. Jenkins he was a all-star. He was a called a rookie of the year, and he's one of my examples of guys under 70 contact who could still have success.
Or if you're a shortstop putting up even 15 home runs, you're having success.
So I would say that Jenkins is still a guy you can count on. And just to go off on a little bit of a tangent, like I've been shopping shortstop on my team, Chris Tremblay, and a lot of people are like, I don't know about his contact. And I said, there's a couple guys in this league who have under 70 contact who has success. I'm not saying he's going to be a great player, but yeah, that's a side topic. But
I need you to talk for a second because I got to use the washroom quick.
Sure. Anyway, just to continue on to Arizona Diamondbacks. I just wouldn't be shocked if they're better than the Giants. I was targeting his third baseman Barton, who I think is underrated. Well, not underrated, like just a guy who hasn't really hit his full potential. He's a top 15 pick. Almost, I would compare it to the guy from Cincinnati, Greg Davis. About the same vibes. You put him neck and neck. He could probably put up his type season in year 3 or year 4. So, decent guy, good guy there. Defense. I really looked at that. Steve Hamlin's solid. He's got a solid second baseman. I know he's got a solid shortstop. Third baseman solid. First baseman solid. He's probably got to put him down.
All right, I'm back. Where are we at?
I'm still talking Diamondbacks. I was looking at his defense, and it's decent, except for catcher. He picked up the dude from Washington, Arnell. But,
Arnell.
Yeah, he's not gonna hurt himself defensively overall.
I would not have him.
I understand, but I'm saying as an overall defense, he's not gonna hurt himself.
No, I mean, there's worse options you can put out. At least he's playing offensively. Like.
Yeah. So Arizona's one of those teams that, like, I wouldn't be shocked if he maybe
I wouldn't be shocked if he.
I anticipate him missing the playoffs, but making 84 to 85 wins. That's where my mark would be at for.
Yeah, that's fair.
For Ren. I'll move
Colorado.
All right, let's go Colorado. Let's go San Diego. Let's go Colorado. They're an obvious rebuild.
Yeah, he's a pretender for sure.
Sure, he's a pretender, but he's not exactly contending. So, what is he really pretending to be?
Yeah, well, his record's 7-6. He leads the division.
Though he's like, it's clear that he's. Oh, okay, because he's in first place.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean, but clearly he's not contending. It's just hard because his core guys like DeMarty, whatever that they're based on. He won an MVP and he just dropped like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
He dropped like a ton of bricks, and he had some like aging guys who were playing well, like Jamie Taylor.
You think anyone's going to trade for Taylor?
Let's take a look.
He makes quite a bit of money.
Because of the extra year, I don't see it. Like if you were to go anywhere, possibly you.
Arizona?
No, you. To Kansas City. And Slime as a DH. But
no, I don't have the room. No way.
And if that's not happening, then it won't happen at all.
You don't think he'd be a good fit for Arizona though? Got Daryl. He's playing Daryl Surson there. Unless his lineup's glitchy because.
No, it's glitchy. He's got Paul Lack there. He's got options there. He's got Searson. He's got Dramati. He's got Lack. He's got options. So I don't think Arizona's a fit at all. It's just tough because he can't play defense. He's a DH for sure. He could hit, but he's not what he used to be. And you take him out of Colorado, he's going to put up numbers that he put up in Seattle, which were pedestrian.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to think about that. Like, he put up almost MVP type numbers, elite numbers. He put up a 940 OPS. He put up a 912 OPS. I wouldn't say MVP because obviously Mogul looks at a home run and RBI statistic as, the only stat.
Yeah, be all end all basically.
But his OPS was elite He had 1,000 OPS in 61. He had a 940, a 912.
So he's not moving him. Is what you're saying.
He's not going to put up the numbers, and plus he dropped in. He's not going to put up the numbers in another ballpark at his age, at his declining state, with no defense whatsoever. So at a DH role, making 16.5 for 2 years, he's staying. Unless like he was a throw-in of a big deal that would hurt the value that Colorado gets in return because they're adding Jamie Taylor. You know what I'm saying? As a throw-in. But other than that, like it's just tough right now. He doesn't have many chips to really move, and he's his best chip.
Here's a guy right here. It's one of those guys. I'm hoping this wasn't an auto pick. Well, actually, I kind of am, but one of those shortstops where you do not waste a first-round draft pick on. Darwin McCartney. What the hell?
Darwin McCarthy. Is that who? Yeah. Okay. Oh, he wasted a first-round pick. Yeah.
Of the Modesto Nuts. What a team that is.
Modesto Nuts.
Modesto Nuts.
Yeah, McCartney is not going to be a defensive threat. I mean, he could maybe do some offensively, but not enough to waste a first-round pick on someone who won't play defense.
That's the kind of things that I've seen people draft in the first round at shortstop, and I'm just like, I've seen it with a little bit better defense, but I'm seeing that, and I'm like,
McCartney can't play. You might end up like a guy like Towson, maybe.
Oh, yeah, if you're hoping to grab a top-notch DH, but I don't think McCartney looks like that.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't see it either. I really don't see it. His contact is a question mark.
Same with Houston, who was also picked in the first round, but not by Colorado. Maybe that's why Florida moved him.
So, yeah, Colorado, they're going to be dependent on their drafts for a couple years to come. So their focus should be collecting draft picks and whatnot. And
that brings us to San Diego.
San Diego. And to my knowledge, they were like almost
That's
in
Becker, I believe.
Almost in like my position. Like they want to win, but they still have to kind of build the future, build their core. They're not there right now. They're off to a slow start.
Well, that's what you get when you have Ray Tuton as your third starter.
I think it's time for him to unload on Fregoso, because that's a major chip in this league. Major chip. He could play defense. He could hit for power. He could get on base. He's a lefty. He's 26.
Oh, man, yeah, he looks good. I mean, the health is a little bit scary, though.
Fuck the health. He's a great player.
The thing is,
he gets hurt, yeah, sure.
You're seeing this. People are catching on, and probably for the better. I don't know if this happened after my Ben Brick deal. I don't really want to give myself that much credit, but it's like people have started to see a trend on players. If they have shit health, they ain't getting big money. Like they're not getting a big deal. They might get a big contract, but they're not going to get a whole lot in a trade, no matter what you are. I mean, we're seeing that. Why do you think Weingartner's not gone yet from Pittsburgh, like the pitcher? It's the same. It's the same kind of thing. It's just like health matters, and I think it's been showing its ugly head a lot more than it used to, and I really don't know how to explain it.
And that's why I took a guy like Heliar, because I saw his 81 health, and I said, you know what, it's not as much of a risk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a risk no matter what, but like the 81 is a little more assuring than a guy who has like 65 health.
Fregoso, great talent.
Fregoso should go. Fregoso gotta go. Fregoso gotta go.
You think he should be dealing him?
Fregoso a go-go. He's gotta go. Gotta go.
Wake me up before you go.
He's gotta go. He's putting up elite numbers, like a 900 OPS type dude, plays defense, almost a Gold Glover. He might want a Gold Glove. Shit, he has won a Gold Glove. He's got to go, but he's got to go for a king's ransom deal,
which he's not going to get though. He won't get it.
He ain't gonna get it.
But this will Well, that's a part of the rant. I don't know if you want to jump in to that at all. We'll wait. We're almost done talking about all the divisions, and then we'll get into that.
Yeah, you just have your division. Will be set. But go on. Oh, all right. So I'll just continue.
That's all I was. Yeah, that's all I was talking about with them.
But yeah, San Diego, they have some pieces that they can move. Brett Wright, who's been pretty good his career. Maybe not the ace they thought he would be, but he's still solid. His value's kind of dropped too, but with whatever you can squeeze out of him, you should probably squeeze and cash it.
Yeah, he should be cashing out right now because I don't really think he doesn't have enough pieces to keep it going. And
I would even entertain an offer from Mary Bradshaw. I think it's well.
Oh, I'm seeing this. I don't know if he submitted a lineup.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say that. I'm looking at guys like
Lyle Tebow. Why is he in the minors? Like
Pat Metz, like
Gordon Stowe. Probably shouldn't be in the minors.
Thibodeau, who just traded, I think, a second-round pick for. And he's kind of well. That sucks because then that's on him because if he wanted to compete and he made some moves to compete, you got to put a lineup in. So that's on him. So.
Yeah, Fernandez is in there. Starks not in the lineup. Younger's not in the lineup.
To go 2-11, like all right, you can say it's April, but you put yourself in a hole, brother.
Oh yeah.
You're 2-11, so maybe that just set his hand that he has to make moves now. He even picked up Angel Fernandez. He picked up Metz. He picked up Thibodeau. He picked up.
Yeah, he made some moves to compete.
Yeah, to at least attempt, but it's not going to happen. Not now with this deficit. Not with the talent that he's got to get over.
Yeah, so. San Diego, sorry to say it, Decker, but your season's probably done, and it's only this.
Yeah, I would say it's in a concern, panic, or doom. I would say doom early. I'm saying doom right now. Yeah.
This is doom. This is PC doom.
It's doom. You're 2-11. You're ready. Freaking 9 games under 500 with a shaky team already. And
this is nightmare mode on Doom for the PC.
So it's time to trade the players. I mean, or go for it, but I just would think that would just go to waste when you can trade a guy like Fregoso. You could trade a guy like Wright. So, all right. So
I think that rolls us to the most important division in baseball, the AL Central.
All right, so I'll go first. I think it's locked down on Detroit. I think Chicago is just a piece away from making some noise.
Yeah, I think we talked about Detroit already.
Yeah. We have, actually. But yeah,
you really think about that with Chicago, that they're a piece away?
They're a piece away. They were last year, and they probably are this year. They're a bullpen away.
A bullpen, not a closer. Not a setup man, not one short relief. They're a bullpen.
Top to bottom bullpen.
Okay, well, the long man, or actually they actually have more pitchers. They're rolling with 12 pitchers. So they need their long man and one of their middle reliefs is probably fine. They need everything
else. And unfortunately.
Actually, Peter Jackson kind of held it down.
He didn't submit a lineup because I'm seeing Noah Steger and A. He's in the A ball.
Where in his lineup?
He didn't set a lineup, and that's gonna hurt him.
Yeah, that's gonna. Yeah, he wasn't hurt. That's gonna hurt him.
You gotta win these early games if you want to compete.
Well, let's put it in this perspective. I didn't take the top wildcard spot by 1 game. All I needed to do was win 1 game. I would have had the top wildcard spot. That is how close the AL is.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
That is huge, actually.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. And I know you're going to be crawling. Hell, maybe Cleveland will crawl. I don't think he has enough traction there, but you never know. Maybe Cleveland crawls in too. And then you got Baltimore, and then you got Seattle. It's going to be a dogfight just to get those wildcard spots. But anyway, let's go to Cleveland. Let's go down this list.
All right, well.
We did talk to Troy. Let's go Cleveland.
I said that Cleveland's probably a pretender. Picked up Trulio. That is a good move. And Newbridge. But And he has some decent pitching, of course. The center fielder needs a bit of work on that arm because I don't even think he can make it to the cutoff man. But could grab a wild card spot. But I don't see Matty trading off any real talent to pick up anything if he needs to, as he's a rebuilding team masquerading as someone who's competing. And that's kind of what I thought about last year too.
What I'm looking at in Cleveland, it's a solid roster. It's I don't know if it's a wild card roster, but it's a solid roster that can compete.
I can see him making the wild card.
If
injuries don't happen.
What I'm thinking is, it depends on if Matty makes a move mid-season, and he's like to me, Cleveland's right in the middle. He's right in the middle. If he could hold on long enough.
The problem is he's not going to make a move where he sends away any key talent.
Because when I look at his pitching, he's got decent starting pitching. He's got good starting pitching. Probably could compete.
Yeah, Miller and Sandy Lane and Wimbush.
I say good, not good.
Yeah,
he's got a pretty good bullpen. He's got that's his his anchor. His bullpen. Solid bullpen, guys.
Yes, I do like his bullpen.
Solid bullpen. And
Arrington, I know he wasn't anything to write home about after his last drop, but this drop, that's killed him. He's done.
And if you're going to be an average team, if you're an average team with the bullpen, you got a chance. Yep. So I think Matty has a chance, but I think that his offense is lacking. He will definitely need to make a move if he's looking to make the playoffs. I don't think it's in his plans to get a playoffs right now to go win a championship.
But if you think he can hang around, and if he does, he may make a small move.
I think he can hang around, and if he makes a move, he could possibly make it to the dance. Like if he trades a guy like Vic Vega, who he, in my opinion, won't be elite at all, but he could be attractive to some other.
Vic Vega,
yeah. Dude from
what's attractive about him?
Well, I'm saying like he's a guy.
What are you gonna get for Vic Vega?
I don't know. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna trade a guy like him, maybe get an upgrade at a like an outfield spot, or maybe just another bat, or maybe better first baseman. Just something that can maybe propel him to maybe making the playoffs. But I think now has one of his teams that maybe can stick around. But I'm not really buying stock. But maybe if they could get everyone to play off their ass, maybe.
Yeah, like I said, I think he's a probably wild card spot.
Probably gonna be an arm because Kyle Anderson's probably not gonna be there all season.
So this kind of plays into the chase for pace. So what do you think? Do you think he's gonna leave Arrington in?
He's gonna let him in because he's been solid so far. He's just gonna ride it out.
No, if Matty wants to make the playoffs, you have to take Arrington out of that.
He's not gonna take Arrington out for Sim 2, and he's probably not gonna do it for Sim 3.
He has to. He's 11-day injury right now.
Oh, actually, I didn't see that. Yes.
That's what's caused this last drop.
I did not even notice that. I did not even notice that he had 11 days off.
So he's 4 wins away. I think that you have to pull him out of the lineup, and he's not getting it. This is one of those times where you better not be stretching a career.
And if he's out of it, pitch him in the latter part of the season?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Matty's got a lot of pride in Arrington because he's had him for like 5-6 years now. That he wants.
And he drafted him originally as the Seattle Mariners.
Okay, so even then, he wants him. He was Seattle. Okay, so yeah,
he was Seattle, and he had Arrington for a while.
Then it's a lock. Then he's keeping him in the sim.
I don't think so. I think even Matty won't do that.
No, I think he will. Because of the pride factor and
it'll be interesting to see.
The emotional factor's there. He's keeping them, no doubt.
All right, so that brings it to my team. What do you think? I'm going to let you talk about my team here, and I'll chime in.
Your team is like the little motherfuckers who like stick around. You're like a little like fruit fly that sticks around the fruit. I don't know how the fuck you do it, but you just stick around the fruit. But like you have solid defense. You don't have any stars on offense. You besides Marin, you don't have a star on the pitching side. But somehow your sum always puts together a great season. You have aging guys. You have Woods, who's aging.
Oh yeah, lots of people are aging here.
Shockley dropping and aging. Stansfield aging. So my question is, how do you replicate your success with guys who are aging? What are you gonna do?
Well, you hope they don't drop too much.
They will.
And this is my mantra right now. It's because, like, obviously I'm here for the long haul. I've been in the league almost since. Oh, Paul Wilson wants a link to the pod here, by the way. You should send him a link out into the chat.
Oh, who wants it?
Paul Wilson.
I think I have a copy and paste. Let me see. I do.
Here's my mantra. Obviously, since I've been in the league since I've quit a few times out of rage over some stuff that really I shouldn't have quit over. Once because I legitimately didn't have time to keep up with a league of this quality, so I went and played in another league for a few seasons. I'm basically going to be running this team into the ground. Once everyone's shit, that's when my rebuild's going to start. And until then, I'm going to be clawing and digging away, trading away draft picks for hopefully like players on the younger side. If I can get a decent deal, pick up an older guy, I will, but not for my top picks. Like I traded away third and fourth for Fleming. That was solid value for me.
There has to be a point where where it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Once it stops working, that's when the rebuild starts.
You have zero room for error. Zero. ZERO.
Well, I still have some assets to move right now, but I've got a first, I've got a second, I've got some late picks. I've got some irons in the fire right now.
Well, if you want to keep this going, you cannot miss on those trades.
No.
And you have to be really diligent with your money, with your financial situation.
Which is pretty much how I always run my team.
Yeah, so
I maximize that dollar. That's for sure. I'm just hoping I can keep getting good seasons out of the guys I have, and once that train leaves the station, it's going to be a 10-year rebuild because I'm not going to have any assets to trade away.
And once that rebuild happens, you're going to have one of the worst teams in history.
I wouldn't say that because I'll actually spend money on free agency. I will not sit with like a 60 or like 30 or 40 mil payroll. I'll probably have like a 60 to 65 mil payroll, and I won't be. I will not play the hokey way of doing it. I will be I'll probably be well above that tank line of 50.
All right, so it's not a matter of if, it's when.
Oh yeah, it's when. Unless
no, listening. Gilman.
Oh.
Marin. When will that trade happen?
Well, this ties in. We're getting almost close to getting through every team. This ties into the buyer's market bullshit. Okay. I'm not going to deal Marin for pennies on the dollar here.
I get you.
If somebody wants Marin, he's basically has the Hall of Fame talent with a piece of shit health. I would like to make a move where I'm taking like a lesser pitcher, like say a McLewis type vitals, where I'm taking like a McLewis and maybe a prospect or a pick that's still fairly high, like maybe second. Or I would actually take a prospect package or pick package and then probably flip them right away. But I would still probably take one, but I'm not going to be taking it for pennies on the dollar here. I can sit and wait on Marin. What worst case scenario is, I guess he takes a drop. One or two, he can probably take one or two drops and he'll be fine. Then I will have to start worrying about making a deal. Until then, I'm not going to budge just because, people are offering, second and third. Like, that ain't happening. I will sit on him until a good deal comes along. And I encourage other GMs to do the same thing. If a team wants to win a World Series, they will come knocking and pick up the players. It's not like the I don't know what you want to compare it to, but it's not as if it's not complete supply and demand here like some people make it out. If a team wants to win a World Series, they've got to pick up a player no matter what. It's not like teams can't use top of the line pitching from top to bottom. They can always use the top of the line pitcher. I don't care if there's 10 aces on the market. There's going to be 10 teams who want that ace. Sit on your player until you get a deal that you like, especially if you don't have to deal him right away. If he's, if someone is lowballing me on McLewis and I'm trying to rebuild, yeah, I'm probably going to end up taking something lower than I want to take because McLewis is a ticking time bomb. But if he's not a ticking time bomb, like a Marin, he may get injured and drop, but he's probably not going to drop just because of getting older. You don't have to. And I encourage other GMs to take that stance with teams. If you are not in a desperate situation, do not take a deal you do not like.
All right, Mike. I was listening to your whole little spiel, but I didn't want to make you stop. But I got pissed like a motherfucker.
All right. Well, I'll just keep talking about.
Hold it down.
I'll talk about the rest of the Central while you're doing that. All right. So Minnesota Twins. Obviously, they're rebuilding. They've got hell of a lot of cash. I'm pretty sure the GM is fairly new to Mogul, especially judging by the first couple trades he tried to make here. That's not a knock on you. It's just probably the nature of the beast when you have competitive people like everyone here in this league. What do you have that's tradable? I definitely did write something about you. Or maybe I didn't. Apparently I didn't. Yeah, there's really, I guess, not too much to say here. Bullpen, What do you got in the lineup? Johnny Wilford's probably not going to be attractive to anyone because you definitely don't want him playing at second base. Maybe you can DH him.
Hello.
Oh, he's back.
I'm back. I feel better now. Okay. So I don't know what the hell you were talking about.
I was just talking about the Twins a little bit.
The Twinkies. Well, just before we continue on Twinkies, I just want to ask you one more question. Do you think your team is primed for a potential World Series run?
If it can get past Boston, yes. If it can get past Boston, I think I can match up against Detroit.
Realistically, do you think your starting rotation can hold up?
No.
Can you get a full year at McLewis, Fleming, Volpe?
Like 35 starts? No, and they've never been able to put up 35 starts.
You have the incredible ability to pick up guys as if you're like thrift shop. You're thrift shopping. No, seriously.
That's a good way to put it, though, I guess.
You're picking up these dudes and you're getting quality players and you're trading guys who won't even become anything. But do you think that this team can compete in the Central and in the postseason potentially? You think you saw that run in you?
I have a wild card spot for sure. I'm not winning the division. I would have to get very lucky to win the division.
Okay.
I think I grab a wild card spot. If I can make it past Boston,
Detroit has really gotten Chuck as a pipeline, I'd say.
Oh yeah, that's
I've
ripped on Chuck. I mean, I love the guy, but yeah, he has made some really weird freaking moves for dirt cheap, in my opinion. Like that catcher, Devaney.
Well, I'm just saying, a lot of the Detroit core guys have come from Minnesota and Boston.
Yeah.
So that's and those core guys are the glue to GB's good teams right now. I'm not talking about the Lou Cooks and the Cantrells and whatever.
Right, you're talking about the Max Nick.
It's the Max Nicks. It's the Devaney. It's the Barzan. Those guys came from Chuck, so that's a pipeline that GB has got. But yeah, I don't think that you have a chance. against because I think Detroit's a powerhouse, and obviously he's been there in the World Series 3 years in a row. Unfortunately, hasn't won the big one. And maybe it'll be. It's almost like you don't want to make the World Series this year. It's weird. Like if you make the World Series and lose again, whew,
Yeah.
Obviously you want to get there. But what I'm saying is, if you get there, you can't lose.
I've never been the kind of person to take the stance of unless my team is going to win the World Series, I might as well not even be there. Like, if I thought that, I'd be trading away all my pieces.
Yeah, same here.
If I can make the playoffs, I think I have a shot. And I at least like to play this game somewhat realistically. So, like, I'm not going to take away a team like, I don't know, say Detroit was like, fuck it, I don't think I'm going to be able to beat Boston, so I'm just going to trade away everything, even though he has a really good team. I'm not going to do that. There's some people that would. In fact, there's a GM in the past that did that very thing. Sean, I'm sure you've heard about things he did, but he pretty much took teams and turned them into super teams by saying like, well, screw it, I'm not going to win the World Series, I'll just deal everything away. I can't do that. I just don't play that way.
All right. Well, let's move on to we talked Chicago, right? Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Let's talk. And they've got a new GM and Paul Wilson.
Oh wait, Wilson's the GM there now?
Paul Wilson. Yeah, Paul Wilson.
Oh, sorry, man. I thought they were still under the other guy that made that stupid trade. Okay.
No, whatever his name is. He made the Tice deal and bounced. And personally, I didn't really think that Tice deal was that great.
No, it was terrible.
And yeah, he just was MIA afterwards. But yeah, so
same with that deal that he made with Maddie was another terrible deal. That Maddie, to give him credit.
Let's step away from that for a second. Like, this is a new direction, new guy.
Right.
So his team has a lot of work.
To do. He needs to spend some of that cash on draft picks.
But on the good side, he's got guys like Joe James, Marcus Talladay, Eric Vanis. Those three guys, just to begin, that's a good set of prospects to start your GMing.
Wait, who are these guys?
The offensive players. They got two third basemen who could play second base, Talladay and Vanis, and then they have a first baseman.
Oh yeah, Vanis. I'm quite high on Vanis, actually.
I'm quite high on both of them. They could both play multiple positions. They're almost like the that one dude Shane Littlewood or like Greg Davis, guys who can play the second base and the third base position quite adequately and hit for power as well as get on base. Like, those guys are so valuable, and he has two of them. So that means that he could mix and match, whatever works best at second base, put him there. Whoever works at best third base, put him there. Like, that's a great asset. Two great assets.
Wilford, you might as well just deal him away. He's a DH, if that.
Yeah, and he actually play outfield, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I think he plays some left field. Yeah, he can play left field.
He does have.
But he was actually the main piece of that Tice deal, and it just didn't. Him and Tijerna, the pitcher, just two not good-looking guys for I'm talking like can't miss, number one overall pick, could be like the best player this file is, like maybe the best player that I have seen since I've been here type deal.
To be honest, what I would do if I were Minnesota, I would literally take everyone on my team
and just put
of any value and boom, get out of here. Trade him for whatever you can get.
Yeah, no.
And spend your cash on draft picks, and there you go. Because this team, top to bottom, minus a couple prospects, is pretty much
not going anywhere. Same light as I would say in Toronto and Oakland. Take your current guys who you're not winning right now. Take your current guys and trade them off and get whatever good value you could squeeze out. And if you don't feel like you get good value,
then yes, hold on to them. Then
you wanted to trade Homer Smith. I said, don't you dare trade Homer Smith until he becomes Homer Smith. Like, not right now. He's Homer Smith. Like, he's Homer Smith right now. Wait
Right
until
now, he's about Triple Smith. Wait till he becomes Homer Smith.
he's Homer S. Let him become Homer Smythe before you trade him. Like,
Let him simmer a bit.
Yeah, let it simmer. But same thing.
Let those flavors marry together.
Like there's guys you could trade off who someone could look at, like a Nalick, a catcher. He could hit a Matthew Chase, a Williford.
Yeah, but Nalick has also got that contract. He's not probably going anywhere.
I didn't see contracts, but just guys who could have success on their team. Just get like a mid-round pick, get a second, get a third.
Honestly, Matthew Chase would be actually someone like me. Well, he probably wouldn't work for me. My team will not work with those guys, but he would be someone I'd be like, you know what? If I can get him for 4th round pick, 5th round pick, yeah, I'll take it.
That's crazy. I used to have Matthew Chase. I was want to trade him to Minnesota, and I could use a guy like him right now. First base has been a revolving door.
There you go, Paul.
Ever since I traded him, he's becoming a very good player. But he's another dude who could.
Yeah, it's just like, you know what? If you can get a 4th round pick at a Matthew Chase, I would say you take that.
More second and third.
But 3rd, 4th, yeah.
If you can get that high of a value, like he's playing really well.
He's the kind of player that for some reason JC can just. I don't know what it is about the water in Chicago, but he can make players like him play well.
Well, look at you. You can make a move. He's a cheap player. No, he's not cheap enough. He's $8 million. He was cheap, but I wouldn't hate it if you pick him up. And plus, he's not that old. You have guys who are decrepit. And he has a valuable shortstop, Austin Katie, who I think is a little bit I remember being interested in him, but I saw his defensive stats that aren't that great. But he's a guy who can have success at the shortstop position, though. Like, he's okay. I'm not saying he's not clunker, but his overall shortstop fielding looks like he might be Omar Vizquel, but he's really not. He's just average.
Yeah.
But I think he's a valuable chip. If you could trade, Caddy's probably going to be a good guy to trade. Like, don't sell Caddy for change. Like, get something out of him. He might not look like much, but shortstops are very hard to find. So I would look into trading Caddy. Pitching is a little bit tough. Like Tijerna.
Yeah, Malcolm, he'd be okay to maybe convert to an RP.
Malcolm's got a crazy contract. He's not going anywhere probably.
Not at that price.
But hey, if you can trade him for Wilson, like hell, I made a trade that I didn't think it was possible. My first year, I traded what the fuck's his name? Tony Norris, who had a crazy contract when I inherited him.
Yeah.
And I traded him for a prospect, well, a catching prospect who was whatever, and then this guy Jim Behringer. He never became anything until he's 27. If you look at Jim Behringer now, he's pretty good for what he is. He's on Boston. There you go. But anyway, like if you can make that sort of move, get a guy who's underrated, like Jim Behringer, for example, who took forever to build, but Tony Norris was nothing, and so will be Troy Malcolm.
Like Scott Loria, he's a guy who you deal right now, even though he could jump a little bit, he's probably not going to be that good, but deal him to somebody for like a 6th round pick.
Well,
see what you can do with that 6th round pick.
Maybe not a 6th round. It was pretty like shitty, but I'd say get a guy who has decent vitals and who isn't 80 peak. There's something about the 80 peak that people fall in love with.
Yeah.
If you dip below 80 and the guy has pretty good see here I am giving away my freaking secrets.
I don't really think there's secrets. Trust me, everybody does it.
But
there's no secrets in FCM anymore.
If a guy has high upside and he's under 70, he's under 80 peak, there's still value there.
Yeah.
And those guys are easier to obtain. Those guys aren't like untradeable guys. So if you can get a guy like that for a guy like Troy Malcolm, you won the deal, hands down, because you want to stock your minors. But
so, man, that's what you gotta do. Punt everybody and get decent value and see what you can do, and spend that cash on draft picks, or spend the cash in free agency on some guys you might be able to flip in a season or two.
All right,
That's probably what I would do.
So that's all 30 teams in Major League Baseball.
It only took like 2.5 hours. So now we're moving on to.
Are we going to the B block now?
I think we already covered.
No, I'm kidding.
Contenders and storylines and rebuilding scenarios and bold predictions.
We have had a solid discussion. I think we should, put this one to bed and maybe continue this on another sim. But any parting comments or words or whatever?
There's still a few Mike's rants on there.
Well, what the fuck you want to talk about?
Well, we talked about stretching out careers. By the way, speaking of Hall of Fame, go out there and vote, and don't vote for Randy Leslie.
I'm not going to say, make a movement to not vote Randy Leslie in. I just don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Here's a huge one.
Just don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
This is like a huge pet peeve of mine. I hate it so much when you're talking trade with someone and they're like, okay, yeah, I'll give you I'll give you a third and fourth. Meanwhile, after a comp's going to be after a comp's been put in, they're actually talking a 4 and 5th because that's what it says in the game. Why not either A, call them what they are in the game because that's what people are looking at, or B, say the pick number. That's the best way to do it.
Or C, how about you do your homework and just check when that pick is overall, and don't worry about the round. Just look at overall.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, look at what the actual pick is, like overall, whatever.
That's more on the person who's buying than the one who's selling.
I don't think so. Because you're just selling smoke at that point. You should be upfront about what your pick actually is, not be like, all right, so I'm going to give you a third.
But devil's advocate, they don't know if a type A guy is going to be picked up. They don't know if a type B guy is going to be picked up.
No, I'm talking about after.
The game says I have 78 overall. I'm going to say I have 78 overall, 58 overall. It's up to you if you want to pick or not. I'm saying what I got.
Well, I'm just going to say this, for example. Say you take, I don't even know if these were comp picks or not, but say, you're one of the lower teams, like Baltimore here. I'm not sure how this actually worked out, but this is how it could work out. This is in a possible scenario. And you're picked 28 in the 4th round, but hey, that pick's actually after comp's input is going to be, now says it's say 8th in the 5th round. Don't go and talk trade with someone after comp's been put in saying, hey, I will trade you a 4th round pick, because it's not a 4th round pick anymore. Yes, in theory, that was your 4th round pick, but in the game, it is a 5th. This isn't real baseball where you can be like, all right, so this is the comp round.
Yeah, but what you're saying is on the buyer, not the seller. You gotta know that.
I would say that's on the seller just as much.
No, it's not. You gotta know this.
It just makes things confusing. I would just say
you look at the overall, and
if you don't want to be,
hey, this is going to go down about 5, 6 spots, possibly 7, whatever it is.
Yeah. And that's my little rant about that. We talked about buyer's market, chase for the pace. What do you think about the trade deadline? Because this has been a couple seasons now.
What, the late trade deadline?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. It just
honestly, for me, it's always going to probably help my team the later the deadline, because you can always, you have more time to be like, all right, am I out of it? Am I in it? You have more time to see, am I going to get an injury? So if I have an asset, I can now trade it to replace it. But I don't like the potential there to basically your team is nothing what it looked like at the start of the season. In fact, I wish our trade deadline was like the draft. If you're making trades,
that's absurd.
No, but if you're making, listen, hear me out though.
That's
If you're
absurd.
making trades at the end of the season that are like making or breaking your season, you probably
I
did
can't
not do
listen
a
to
good
that.
job as a GM.
I can't even listen to it. You have a deadline at the draft
Well, somewhere early in the season.
early, bro. Like half the reason why we're on is because we have the thrill of talking trade.
I do agree that as a
I wouldn't
league,
even come online if there was no trade. I would just be like, just fucking put a team file and like bounce.
True. I do agree that maybe as a league you need to keep
Yeah, hell yeah.
things interesting, but in a world that was perfect, I think an early trade deadline serves a much better purpose of who has the better skill than a later trade deadline.
But how the fuck is that perfect?
Because your team shouldn't look drastically different come the end of the year than it did at the start of the year. Otherwise, you did not do something right. You shouldn't be like 1 month away and you're like dealing for studs because a team's completely out of it. There should be something in the back of your head that's like, if I'm the seller, being like, you know what, should I really make this move? When there's 1 month to go, not really. You pretty much know, unless you get lucky.
You could get your best value.
Yes, I'm not. You will get your best value probably, but that's what I don't like about a trade deadline all the way back then.
So how about you push it right back to July 31st? Would that make you happy?
Pardon?
July 31st. Would that make you a happier man?
I guess I prefer it much earlier still, but
I just don't get you. I just don't get that.
Then we only really had
so asinine. That's what we can have a trade deadline sim too. Like
then the only other thing
you going trade in season? You going trade off season? Is that you got to put in free agency bids at Sim 3 for in advance, like
now you're just taking it too far.
For the impending free agent class, like come
on. Then the other thing is consistency versus a World Series. So I'm just going to mention my team because it's an easy team to use as a comparison. I've had consistency throughout the whole time I've played. Like I've come first or second in the division, except for when I've had to do short rebuilds. And like look at the last 10 years. Like I've made the playoffs, except for that 1 year in 2061. Is it better to be consistent for a long period of time, or maybe only have a 5-year stretch but win a World Series?
You play to win the game. You play to win the game.
Yes. I get that.
You don't know the reference, do you? You don't know the reference. It's okay.
But does it take how much skill does it take to say, like, I could win if I went out and signed a bunch of players and win a World Series and then just have to decimate my team the next year?
Oh, man. My brain's fried, and I just want to say you play to win the game. All right. I think I guess consistency is better, but like I'd rather win a World Series.
Yeah, I'd rather take. I mean, I wish I had a World Series, but I'm pretty happy that I've been able to put it out consistent.
I mean, like I do want to put up a winning record, like and have a good winning, like overall winning.
It's like, what does a World Series really mean if you have basically put together a team that you know is going to be shit after 5 years?
Well, because there's other people competing.
What did that mean?
There's other people competing to win a World Series, so you could say, hey, I'm part of that elite group in that 10-year stretch that etched out a World Series. Like, I don't want to be the Nationals. I don't. I don't want to be the Minnesota Twins of the 2000s.
Right.
I'd rather put all the chips in, go all in. Well, I mean, like if it comes down to it, to win that World Series, than to just be a good franchise and just beat the good guys. A team always, it's always a really on team, but you just never win the big one.
Yeah, it's coming from someone with experience. Trust me, that hurts.
Yeah,
It sucks when you put in so much time. Like,
this is a competitive league, so as a competitor, and I know we all are pretty competitive, like we want to win. So I'd say go for the championship.
So I'd say we had a pretty successful first podcast. Hopefully, you guys think it's at least somewhat interesting. It was definitely fun talking.
Yeah, it's definitely fun talking.
I think we got about 3 hours or more.
I honestly don't know. We're just talking like as if we're playing Rocket League.
All right, so I think that wraps it up for the
Matter of fact,
podcast.
You trying a game right now?
What, play Rocket League after this?
Yeah, bro.
Oh yeah, I'd be down for that. I gotta take the dogs out quick first, but
cool.
All right, make sure you export this and share it or whatever. Or
I think it goes. It saves right as a video.
So make sure you link that somewhere in the.
Yeah, I'll link it somewhere. I'll ask Andy to like make it maybe like a forum topic. We'll just keep adding to it, or I'll just even share the profile with other people.
Unless Andy think it fucking sucks, and then in that case, then I guess we're just.
Because I think the interesting thing about this is that you could share your screen. So I also haven't checked out the video, but
I haven't even been watching the video. So.
Well, obviously because we're doing it, but I hope that it's a decent tool where I'm sharing the screen and I could kind of follow along what we're saying, like just click on guys to kind of give it more context to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what the goal was with the sharing of the screen. I mean, I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's effective or not, so, but we'll see. So, but it was fun nonetheless, so we'll
all right, everybody take care, and I'll see you at Rocket League.
Peace out.